Guys, did you hear that? That's the sound of us not recording a fucking episode since fucking January, and it's now May. Welcome to the Jungle Bot Action Podcast. I ain't even going to do the bit where we talk about what episode we're on, because I genuinely have no fucking idea. It's been 71. That long. 71. Mate, that's the age of my colon. It's fucking awful. No, it's been too long. But we're back.
We have legitimately Titanic years. We've Titanic years the days, haven't we?
It's like the opposite of dog years.
84 days.
It's like that. Is it Interstellar, where it's like it's been 400 years on Earth or something ridiculous, but only 2 minutes for us.
Oh yeah, it's been 2 minutes for us and 40 years for you.
Look, it's been so long that we've forgotten how to live stream, and we're doing this old school. But we're here. I am Toph. We've got Pete Spurlie and Dan. Say hello, Pete Spurlie and Dan.
Hello, Pete Spurlie and Dan.
The joke that
that's the best that's ever happened.
So I will start off then with the elephant in the room about where the fuck we have been for the past 4 months. We've all had lives, quite busy ones. Obviously, we won't go into full details, but like Pete's had shit. Spurs had shit.
My life actually got busy.
Yeah,
weird.
Yeah, me and Dan are lazy fucks. So without that, without the drive from the others, we're not going to fucking do anything.
You can't do anything. You two don't know what you're doing.
I don't have the software to record. Or
I started this goddamn podcast, and it'll be me it dies with. Thank you very much. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah, the last episode of this podcast will be at Toph's funeral.
Mate, that'd be wicked. Can you imagine that?
It'd be really dry answers. So, Toph, how's death?
The actual hell march coming up out of the hole in the ground.
You know when the casket gets taken behind the curtain to be burnt. I think hell march for me to go would be on point. So if there's any lawyers or solicitors listening to this, can I have that from me, please? Oh yeah, that's fine. They'll understand.
Oh yeah, they'll give us looks like, really? And we'll be like, yeah, really.
You've met my dad, Pete. They've got plenty to get on with.
Yeah, he's great.
So, yeah, and I mean, if anyone who listened to the last episode, our opinions on V3 have been mixed.
It's not V2.
No, and I think we're kind of coming to terms with that. And from clearly, we don't enjoy it as much as V2. Let's say that. Let's put that out. Which means things like tournament reviews and army book reviews and state of the game and stuff becomes more and more. We don't want to come on here and just bitch and moan. Which I know it's kind of what you talk about. You're the juggernauts. That's all you do. But at the same time, it's it's funny up to a point.
Bitching and moaning is what we like.
It's fun up to a point, and then it just gets depressing. So, we when we come on and go, right, let's review the new German army book. It's just full of fucking typos and shit that I don't give a fuck about. We had to restrain Dan. We had to lock him in a garage for 2 days because he was just aggro.
That Germany book came out, and we asked Dan's family to just not let him out for a bit.
Yeah. So. Glad to have you back, Dan.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
So that's kind of also led into why we've not come to anything right, because we've thought, well, if we've got nothing, as my mum said, we've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything about it, or we didn't want to just come over and have a big rant about it, like Tabletop Tom is doing. Sorry, drop that.
Wow.
Yeah, said it, whatever. So that's why we've gone a bit quiet. What we've been up to anyway? In the meantime.
What have we been up to? Right, this is since January.
Since fucking January.
I heard Pete reach the fill level.
I did. It was a big cup too.
No. You know, like on cartoons when they're drinking loads and loads of water, and you see the water level go up past their eyes.
Yes.
That's what Pete was like over the last few months.
Oh dear. Just let's start from where we're going, right? How was Beachhead, Toph?
Oh shit! I went to Beachhead dinner. That was a thing.
Yeah. What kind of list was that you took? Nobody got it.
So that's
understandable.
So let's set the scene. we'd just done mincemeat, where I'd won with my horrendous Hungarian bollocks, multi-launcher, dice, Nimrod, spam, blah, 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 blah.
I wonder what happened to that army.
Well, hilariously, Ali Omicron has brought all the vehicles off me for a tenner each. So that's a solid £80, sorted, done, in the back pocket.
Sorry, Scotland, we've ruined your
I came,
entire
I saw, I conquered, I'm done with it. In a box you went, up north, that's fine. And obviously we spoke about last episode, right, well, we noticed that there was a trend to light tank spam. And people building lists to counter light tank spam. So I thought, right, but there's one up then. What beats a light tank? A bigger tank. So that's why I started packing in the Lees, and then obviously you bring in the Vickers, because, well, light tanks, they're the cheapest, most cost effective you can have. And you guys will know, I've been sat on my Kangaroos for years trying to make them good. And it clicked like, I can give them recce.
Yeah, that helped.
And with my Hungarian list, the infantry, you just kept them off the board until like turn 5 and came and tagged an objective and won. Same concept, right? Except rather than being off the board, they're sitting inside the Kangaroo and you can't touch them, you're recceing them around, and then that's it. So the concept was, you have all this infantry and all these Kangaroos just being safe, doing what the fuck they want. One of the Kangaroos has got a company commander in there, so the pins don't matter. They've all got vengeance, so the pins don't matter. You roll on with your 2 Lees and your 3 Vickers, you take out all enemy anti-tank, and then once they've got no anti-tank, you laugh. And I did that for 5 rounds and won Beachhead.
Where's your anti-tank? It's dead, it's dead, it's dead.
Pretty much.
Now you're all dead.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was some tough games in there. Like, I played Russell Wright on one of the games where I was playing what's the one with the one in the middle?
Oh, I know what you're on about. Is it Holding to Relieve?
Yeah. And then it was basically like a dice off the hook. Obviously, you deploy within 12, and then it's basically who gets there first, who tags it, and then you dogpile it. And I managed to get there first and then park 2 Lees on it. And kind of go, mine! And I played a lot of Finns, because a 16-point consomulate is such a big brain move, guys. Like, you're so smart. Like, man, you need to go to, like, Oxford or Cambridge, because you learned that a 16.7 plus is, like, big brain move. I'm so happy that I got FAQ'd. That's beautiful.
I think
it is quite beautiful.
Even the people running those kind of lists are happy that they got.
And this is the thing, and we're having a similar thing with your FT17 Spurlie, which is in the German book, because they don't have pitifully slow, and it's obviously an error, but currently they're fast as fuck. So Spurlie's on borrowed time, and he's like, I'm going to print them, use them for one tournament until they get FAQ'd, and then he's going to put them in a box or chuck them on eBay. Like, it's a known thing. And as long as you're happy to do that, that's absolutely fine. It's if you do that and then whinge and bitch about it when they fix it down the road. That's the problem.
100%. If I find a winning formula that gets nerfed, come on.
I'm just hoping that down the line at the Japanese book they put the Otsugatu in, which is the FT17 for the Japanese, but actually leave pitifully slow off it, because the Japanese actually replaced the engine in that thing.
Well, spoiler, I've played Spurlie and his 8 FT17 list, and let me tell you, that thing's fucking horrible. Absolutely tore me to bits, and I'm not even embarrassed to say that it happened. I mean, you say 8 FT17 lists, it's actually 8 FT17s plus 2 Panzer IIIs plus a load of infantry and vehicles, and he's a giant cock bomber about the whole thing. But like,
no.
To be fair to you, Spurlie, I think this is some actual filth, and for the most part, you've created it all by yourself, and I'm quite proud of you.
Usually I steer well away from the filth.
And this is, you've gone full into it, yeah.
I'll maybe do 25-30% filth, whereas this is...
He's finally moving into the realms of, God, you're such a whacker, Spurlie.
Yeah.
But
you know what, Spurlie? You can take that devil title. Go on.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is, I've actually like read the book.
What cheating?
What units do.
Loser.
Actually read the rules. Fuck's sake.
It's just I've got a big truck that's going to have platoon commander, a squad of veterans that cancel shirker rules, and then a big squad of shirkers no longer shirk because the veterans cancelling the rule out. So, and then the truck that they're in doesn't put a -1 for reserve because of the veterans that cancel the shirker cancel the reserve rule. Wow.
How many rules can he cancel? Spurlie goes, a rule? I don't want to pay attention to that.
That's it.
But so I'm sure we'll come to that because obviously that's your future plans. What you're going to do with that list. But that was Beachhead, and I think as well. I know, like when we got to the WTC, there was a whole hoo-ha with the English list, right, about being so differently to everyone else.
That was so funny.
And then there,
being on the Timo side, I couldn't give a single opinion, but I was giggling my arse off at them going, "Where's all the
and I know Bo came out with this bollocks about how apparently Team England got their orders or something stupid, but it's not. It's more that people in England had seen what I was doing, and then obviously the meta adapts because, well, suddenly there's, everyone's got loads of tanks. So we assume that the world is the same thing, right? Everyone's running loads of light tanks. What beats a light tank? A medium tank. And that's why Team England had a lot of armour, because that's what we've been building up to in our local scene, I guess.
I have just recorded a podcast with Bo because, I'm going professional rather than this amateur bullshit.
Wow.
Wow.
Wait, I need a suitable soundbite.
Yeah.
That will go, because you're a giant.
See ya. You have to coach
giant loser.
Yeah.
There we go. Fuck off. You're off the podcast.
Did you use the phrase Tim Pot at all?
No.
That's outrageous, mate. Outrageous. Don't know what you're doing.
So come on. What did you talk to Bo about? You're on your instance. Yeah, that was dead air. Yeah.
That was great. What you're not getting, listener, is he started talking and his mic didn't work.
Yeah, he's just mouthing nothing
clearly, when he spoke to Bo, he spoke about fuck all.
What you can't see, listener,
We've
is
got
he's trying to fix his mic.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey,
amazing.
I am back.
It's ironic that happened exactly the time I said Tim Pot.
That was
professional, mate.
Right,
so we talked about we looked at the data that I'd pulled from the lists from before the event.
Okay.
So the metadata, and how you could see that blocks of countries had all gone certain ways. All 4 Team England teams had the lowest average dice count.
And had company commanders everywhere.
Yeah,
it had the most company commanders. The Germans had all gone multi-launchers.
Even after the nerf.
Yeah.
Well, they clearly did something right.
Well, what they did as well is I think they took light or medium mortars in X to buy the spotters, because the Nebels would then be regular, so they could use the spotter to spot with a cheap order.
Howling Cows. It was Howling
Cows, yeah.
Oh yeah, because with the FAQ they reverted that no spotters for multi-launcher FAQ, didn't they?
Yeah, spotters are now 1 per turn. You can spot for 1 unit per turn, but if you take it in X, that doesn't matter, because the unit spotting doesn't care. It's the unit that's firing that matters. So it's a good little combo. Good. And to be fair, there weren't many multi-launchers at the event. I think they were mostly stacked in the German lists.
Yeah. So shall we? I mean, obviously, before we get to the WTC, then I'm very concerned of Pete's chronology. So that was Beachhead anyway. That's where our Team England list kind of were. At least the initial ideas were born, because obviously that's where you come up with the ideas in the pub afterwards, don't you? What happened next, Pete?
Well, actually, in the proper chronology, between Beachhead and the WTC, the US book dropped. And that's a whole thing. I quite like the US book.
Yeah.
It was fine, I think, is the most... It wasn't as bad as the Germany book, so...
The nice thing is, you can range on more things.
That's true.
You actually have a proper theme there, instead of having to wait a million campaign books down the line to run your rangers.
Yeah, but they left out basic late war infantry, didn't they?
No,
so you can only take the early war.
They just reduced bars. Yeah, they just reduced bars across there. But they took the historical route with bars, and nobody likes it.
Don't like it.
Well, you can still take 1 million in Marine squads, but they're still not very good.
Late war Marine ones can take 3 bars.
I've just realised. Let me cut that. You know how you said Tim Pot, Dan?
Yeah,
we're all in the wrong group on Discord.
Oh, don't worry. I noticed that earlier. And
We are all in drink agreement, aren't we?
So, do you want to all
If
jump
anyone
in?
wants to join the cast,
No. I am waiting for somebody to jump in.
Are we
You just
doing
gotta
it?
leave
Are we doing
Yeah,
it?
just
Okay,
leave
we're doing it.
Yeah,
We're doing it.
yeah.
That's fine. Listener, if you realise we're recording in the future and have a time machine, come back and jump on board about 20 past 9 on the 4th of May. Let's go.
I want us to fly by the seat of our pants.
Okay,
you know?
This is
sorry.
exciting. This is like getting your dick out in public.
But
I am waiting for Moody to drop in. And
I'm surprised Alex hasn't turned up already because he's usually one that immediately joins as soon as anyone else is on the channel.
He's travelling back.
Mentioning Alex, thank you very much for getting back to my chronology. Alex probably won't drop in because he's been at the Welsh Nationals this weekend.
No, he's not. He's been having another tattoo done. No, Richard Swesko's been.
Yeah, so the top 3 were an actual Welshman won it for a change. Well done, Chris Davies.
Oh my god.
And an actual Welshman came second. Congratulations, Gary Morgan.
Oh my god.
And then Rich Soresko carried on his usual I'll take a
To be fair,
place.
those who went this week, 1 week after the WTC, like, power to you, man, for the just pure endurance. Because I'm just like, fuck off, mate. Nah, I've just done a weekend. I ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and sit in a dark room.
That's a good top 3, you know.
Yeah. Wasn't there 22 people? I think was apparently final score for Welsh Nationals this year.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Battering after being
low,
this close to the WTC though, you're gonna have a lot of top players like myself, like Alex, who are like, man, it's just too soon, man. Yeah. To WTC.
But Alex went Portsmouth today. So did Charlie. So did Michael Carrick.
Okay.
That's probably because it's closer to them.
Paul Wickens went Portsmouth.
Yeah, I saw him in the photos.
If Charlie is listening to this podcast, which I know you will, because I know you love the sweet sound of my voice, because we have a relationship now. I don't know if you guys know.
Yeah.
Remember OnlyFlanks and how you promised me a ticket. Yeah. We'll come to that. We'll come to that topic later, my friends. OnlyFlanks. That's happening. Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, Pete. Carry on.
That's right. No, you hit my chronology basically. We've now got Shameless Shilling. Battle of Britain's coming up.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
So Battle of Britain is the 31st of May and the 1st of June, I believe. UK Games Expo.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Details can be found on the Facebook page or on the list on our Discord. The ticket price is horrendous. I'm really sorry. It's not our fault. It's the Expo's fault. Go shout at the NEC, not me.
Yeah. And if you're wondering, you're taking the money off the top. No, we're not.
No money.
There is legitimately, that's the price of an event.
We're running it for the love.
Yeah, it's why Dan doesn't help us, because we can't afford to pay him.
No, I can't. No.
Dan needs a little bit off the top just so he can go and get some there.
It's well documented, but when an event like that charges the earth and they get all the money and they still won't help you out at all during the event, they can get fucked.
It's fair.
Yeah.
I don't.
You may want to spend afterwards.
We've already, me and Spurlie have kind of already said though, like, I think this year's the proof is like the proof is in the pudding of how much of a draw the UKG Expo actually is, which is people say it's a draw and then not actually put their money where their mouth is. I think we've sold 15 tickets for this event, maybe.
No, we're at 13.
13. So maybe by the time we run, maybe it will be 15 or 16 because you always have the last few stragglers. So we've got enough to run an event, sure, but not enough to make it worthwhile in terms of trying to push it specifically as the UKG.
Well, it's one of those where I think if you did a one-day tournament, you might get a bit more of an uptake.
But then it's not. But it's not a GT.
Yeah. What I was going to say is, from our side of things, running a one-day at the UK Games Expo is just as much work as running a 2-day at the Games Expo. So what would be better off doing is just go to Seven City or something and just running it where like we run mincemeat and just go right. We do two GTs a year. We'll do mincemeat. We'll do Battle of Britain. Yeah. Do it a couple of weeks after the Games Expo.
Yeah, like I mean, that is just that late May, early summer kind of slot in it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll see that.
We'll see. If you want to change our minds, go and buy a shitload of tickets. Make us actually have to release more and make us go, oh, fuck.
So Battle of Britain, it's 1250 points. The only restrictions are you need to spend at least 50% of your troops of your points on rifle platoons. After that, you can do what you want. So you can spam all the tanks. You can spam 625 points worth of tanks. And then you can add it to 625 points worth of like infantry in armoured carriers if you want. That's a pretty filthy list. There you go. You can have that one for free.
Yeah.
So if you've broken your pack already.
Well, yes.
I'll be honest. I read the USA reps John Ross's review of the WTC, and when he started mentioning what TOs are doing to try and stop the historically accurate yet very blatant spam of V3. Everybody's trying something different, and some things are working and some just aren't. And
that's fine. Like we like V2 eventually came to some sort of understanding, right, where everything was the same, and that was part of what made V2 both good and bad, because you could go to a V2 tournament and pretty much know what's going to happen. And you could plan accordingly. Yeah. Whereas V3, I remember talking to Dan about this. I remember talking to Dan at the WTC. I think it was the end. It was at the end of the time, the first Fog of War round, because it was all going to fucking chaos. Everything was exploding. Everything was going wrong. And Dan was in his peak fucking element. He was like the Elmo meme when everything's on fire. Like, yes.
Yeah, it's exactly what I wanted. You need to be prepared for like people were complaining.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really like Fog of War missions. It's like, well, there's only 3 deployment types, and if I just do 3 of each across the 2 days, it's going to get very, very fucking boring very quick. And everyone's armies suddenly diverge to a very set routine because you either walk on or deploy.
Yeah.
Well, that's just boring. But if you've got Fog of War, 1, it makes the lists all different, and 2, it makes all those games all different. And you have to adapt to it.
It starts fucking around with the gun lines, which at the start of V3 we found boring.
I don't think the gun lines will stay though, regardless of Fog of War or not, because I think we quite, at least I've learned quite easy, is that you can bring 10 light autocannons, which is great, but then 1 tankette will run over 5 of them in a single activation.
Yeah, you got to be. Did that happen?
Yeah, I've done it. Yeah, I did. Sorry. Yeah, I did it a few times at Beachhead. No, there was one guy at the WTC, bless him. I played Mason from US Free. He was the young lad. He had pink hair.
Yeah.
If you guys remember him. To be fair, divulgent time. What a lad. 23 years old, and he just decided to drop everything and come to the WTC, and apparently his parents were proper mad at him because they were like, no, you need to go to uni. He's like, fuck you mum, fuck you dad, I'm going to go play at WTC. And he flew out, literally never left the country before, flew across a fucking continent all by himself to come and play at the WTC. And then when we played, he was like, "Hi, I'm Mason. I'm a hot mess." I'm like, "Mate, I totally get you. I totally understand." What a legend! Yeah, what a legend. And,
that's what England won. At the end of day 2, man.
Yeah, I know. But bless him, he'd put his guns in ruins, but he kind of put them half in, half out, so he gets the benefit of being within cover without giving cover when he fires out because he's within an inch of the edge. But doing that meant half the crew and the base were hanging out, if that makes sense. Which then, me being a little whacker that could, I'm going to run you down with my tankette. Obviously, I can't go in the ruin, but I can just clip that tiny little foot of the bloke that stood outside the ruin because I'm a dickhead. Bless him. But I do take advantage of running over artillery with tankettes. It's one of the best changes in V3, if you ask me, to be honest. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to more fast tanks. Because at the moment, I'm looking at the US's M24 Chaffee going, oh, it's fast. Not because it's got a gun. 1279, but runs 24, which means its charge range for those oops, I killed you is much larger.
I hadn't thought of it for charge rangers. That's awful.
Oh, yeah.
You still need to move. I guess you still need to move at least 12, though, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it does make it harder to set up if you don't have that minimum distance to build up.
Yeah, it makes it harder to set up. But imagine people thinking, "Oh, I'm safe. I'm 19 inches away." And you just go, "No."
Yeah, that makes sense. But like, I looking back, like now having a bit of space between the WCC, especially in regards to Fog of War, is I think that because obviously we got the 5 lists and you can swap out. I think at least England won. We didn't utilise that 5th list as well as we potentially could have or should have.
Do you want to know what I'm going to say there?
Go on.
You're 100% correct.
Yeah. Me, Rich, and Alex had decided on our list pretty early on, and Phil, bless him, was struggling on which one to do. So we kind of went, well, come up with 2 lists and then just take which one we want. And I think that was the completely wrong thing to do. We should have took the 4 lists we wanted and then gone, right, where's our blatant weakness? And then fill the gap with that. So when we were sitting in the car on the way home, one of the things we could have done, and probably should have done, was create 100 Polish veteran Lancer missile.
Yeah.
But because our weakness was demolition, right? Because we ball talk low dice tank lists, and like we can defend a demolition mission, but
you just can't get there.
We can't attack. Yeah, and ultimately the reason we lost there's a couple of reasons we lost the first round against Australia. One of them was it's our weakest mission. Another one was we couldn't attack. Another one was Phil wouldn't stop shitting himself. But like. And I only lost my match because I got the last dice of turn 7 tabled me, and like and that counts as an auto loss. Like fuck you, man, because he was never getting my objectives, he was never getting my car parked them. But like if we just put 100 veteran lancers or however many we could fit onto the table and go right, I'm going to win on turn 2.
Yeah,
you know, don't get me wrong, I will lose on turn 3, but I've won by turn 2, so it'll be fine.
I know there were a lot of people that did take specialist lists.
Yeah.
Like the Welsh, for instance, took an extra engineer-based list so that they could
swap it out for demolition.
Swap it for the demolition. Just to go, right, well, the list will do well in the other lot.
Yeah.
But this one here, we want to swap it in just to try and win that one mission. And they did that. And I know there was a lot of others that had the tactical list, like the Australians had a tactical list to bring in for 2 missions specifically when they didn't want to do Fog of War and stuff, like bringing in Hungarians, for instance.
England,
England 3 had that.
England 2.
Kill points.
Which should work brilliantly.
For kill points, they had the 5 dice and the 6 dice. Neither of them won, but they didn't lose. So,
so Martin with his Sturm Tigers, he won one of them and drew the other.
Yeah.
No,
the proper kill points one.
Nah, I don't know the specifics.
Priority targets he won. He didn't win.
Smash bait. I have my misgivings about Fog of War, fair, but I also think that we could have looked at it differently as a team and gone, right, what can we do? The thing that pissed me off is it's just a because you know how in the narrative missions in the rulebook, like when you come on from a table edge, no one else can come on from that same table edge until you swap sides. It just meant because they don't have that in those missions, you just drive on and they immediately just come up behind you and there's nothing you can do to stop it. And that pisses me off. But like, nah.
It means your vulnerable tanks and your rear armor are just going, we never want to come on with
exactly. It just becomes a dice game, right? Who's got the most dice? Well, they're coming on second. So the low dice person comes on first and then the high dice person comes up behind him. But nah. So like what was like, obviously, we're just jumping all over the place with this fucking talk.
I wish I could have been at the WTC. To be honest,
I was going to say how went prepping? Did you manage to sort Alan out with all of his questions? Bless him.
I think from my point of view, prep wise, Dan got more questions that he didn't expect than he actually expected.
Yeah, really? Because I expect a lot of questions.
It's the same every year. What we end up with one person or 2 people in this case this year ask a lot of questions, and some of them end up being stupid, like is a truck a transport, like last year. And I would much rather field 100 questions and get them answered so that people understand exactly what's expected of them at the event and exactly how they should be playing the game, rather than no one asking any questions and then you're running around like a twat on the day and everyone's interpreting everything differently. So that's how I work. Yeah. That's how I want it to be.
Yeah.
And Alan, bless him, he does ask a lot of questions. But once he was at the event, He barely asked anything during the days. Maybe something like, "Can this unit see that unit for cover and stuff?"
But can
But
this
other than
unit
that,
be within?
And you know what? That's the way. That's
other than that, he was fine.
And that's there's no such thing as being too prepared, right? Like that's the way to do it. Like you ask all the questions in advance, you have to do it on the day. Yeah.
Yeah, and to be fair to him as well, he was one of only 3 people that actually submitted their lists correctly first time. So the questions clearly worked because the 2 people that asked the most questions were 2 of the 3 people that submitted perfect lists.
How?
It's almost as if following the actual kind of don't give us this, don't give us that.
So
give us this.
I delegate. Obviously, anyone who goes to WTC knows I'm England rep, but I don't captain. I delegate that to Alex. So we split the roles up a bit. How did England do under Liz submission?
Alex submitted them early.
Yeah. And
there were a couple administrative errors. Nothing like this is illegal, you have to change it. But it was things like you've not included the squad number for this unit, and it'll be like it'll be like regular infantry, 50 points. So it's 5 units.
Yeah. Okay. That still makes me sad, though.
I think there was one where Dan. I think there was a couple where, and it happened across all nations, where Dan went, "Hey mate, you got like 20 more points to spend."
Yeah, there was a lot of people that submitted their list that just had like officers as modelled, and it's like no. That's not how it works. You need to choose the weapon, and so there were a lot of cases like that. There were a few where people have written something like the CV-33 for the Hungarians, but then they've obviously taken the weapon upgrade to make it a CV-35, but then they've not listed it as 35. They've listed it as a CV-33 with the upgrade. And it's like, well, it's that kind of that thing. The only thing I had that was probably illegal was 5 engineers in a platoon when you can only take 4.
Yeah.
And that came in twice. That was so funny. That came in twice, and Dan's response was, "It's kind of changed it."
Yeah.
So what feedback did you get on like the restrictions? Because I know the rule, like the things like the rule of 2, like so that you could only take max 2 of anything beyond infantry and transport. And it was a bit mixed. You had some good, some bad, and some said, "Well, that's the reason you saw all the Finnish bullshit because that's the one thing left. You could still spam taking 17 consolidates." You know,
nobody really did the Finnish trash other than USA 2. They were the only team that actually had the balls to do it.
He had the 3D printing space to get them all out.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing, Corey knew after the event that it was never going to happen again. Yeah, so he was going around and giving comp-simulates to the people that he played over the weekend.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I think the rule of 2 worked brilliantly, except someone mentioned when we were at the event, he said, "I really think it worked really well." And to be fair, I think everyone enjoyed the rule of 2 to limit the bullshit. Whether it hindered their army or not is a different matter, but I think to comp it so that everyone's kind of playing on a level playing field, it worked. The only thing I would say is for non-generic units, I think transport should have been probably limited as well. So like every unit can take like the civilian truck, for instance.
Yeah.
And if you're just taking that, it's just a truck with no guns. Who gives a shit? But there were a lot of people taking multiple comp-simulates, and there were a lot of people taking the 250/4 prototype German.
That was in almost every German
That's
army.
the freaking best transport in the game. That's why.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? 65 points for a 7+ armored transport with 8 machine gun shots.
Double MMG. Yeah. So I think non-generic transports maybe could do with a limit to maybe 4. Maybe give them the extra selection rule so you could take like 4 in the thingy rather than unlimited. But I think overall it worked really well. The rule of 2 for the multi-launchers worked well as well. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I think the only spanner in the works it could throw up, going forward with things, as Armies of Germany is like, this is the Panzer IV G, and this other entry is the Panzer IV this one. Like if a book comes out
Yeah.
where it's an identical tank, but it's legitimately just copy pasted, and there's slight difference, that could cause an issue. But it's not going to right now.
Yeah, I think it won't work forever. I think it's it's a
well,
flash in the pan.
It works really well for this event because at the minute all of the tank things are quite limited in the rule book. But yeah, when people get their army books, you'll get the Panzer 1, Panzer 1B, Panzer 1C, the Lux, the Panzer 2, and the 5 different variants, Panzer 3, and then 9 different variants.
I'm surprised that more people didn't do that, because there were lists that we were looking at in Team England where, like, we brought, like, 10, 12, 14 tankettes, but we just kept bringing different variants. So, like, there's, like, 5 or 6 different types of Vickers, for instance. We was looking at this where we go, right, here's the 2 with the light AT guns, here's the 2 with the double machine gun, here's the 2 with the light, and we was going to do it that way. Obviously, we decided to go a different way in terms of our list styles and going, right, let's try and make sure we can take out other enemy tanks. But
there were a few people that did that, like the Poles, for instance. They bought a Polish list as well, and they very much took 2 of every tank. Yeah. Like, all the variants you could get away with, they would do it. So obviously you can't just say, take 2 of one tank and then give it a Pinto, and then that counts as a different variant, so you can take 2 of that. It was 2 of the T-26 with the machine guns, and then 2 of the T-26 with the light AT. Yeah. So you can have the normal and the E variant.
The 70p, I believe it is called. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. So they very much took
no, not 70p. It's the 70p.
Yeah, 70p.
And it's way more than 70 points, mate. Yeah.
So it was good. There's obviously, because we're still early days, it's still very much kind of, it will develop itself as you go along. And the thing that everyone kind of overlooks when you go to an event like this is, back in August or September, when the rulebook came out, everyone had been arguing and chattering and saying, oh, we want a pack, we want a pack, we want a pack, for about 4 months already, because the event had happened April or May last year. So when the new rulebook drops, because you keep saying, look, we're going to make it a V3 event, you've got about a week to read the rules, try and digest them, and try and come up with some way of making it a competitive pack and having it balanced. So considering we have to do all of that within a week and get the pack out to everyone, I think we did a fucking good job of that.
I think, like, obviously on the day as well, there were some strong lists, but there was also actually very little that was unbeatable. I think the closest you got was like that 36 finished Finn list, but then again, depends on what mission you came up against it, right?
Yeah.
But most lists seemed like, I didn't come across any games that I think there was no list that I played against that I think I couldn't have beaten. There were some lists that I came across in the wrong combination of terrain, mission, deployment, whatever, fine. But in a straight up fight, there was none of those. There was no list that I think I couldn't beat, which is what you want, right?
That's what you want,
exactly,
right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Even though my list
don't, it to be, even though everyone has a chance.
Yeah, even though my lists don't work, so because I don't know what I'm doing. Clearly,
no, clearly not.
Clearly not. No.
You know what's really annoying? What's really annoying actually is that, at least regards to like Team England 1 on our lists, we'll never fucking know if it would have worked.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
What is that?
So, I think at this point, England 1 is fucking cursed. We're like literally we might as well change our name. We're Team fucking Icarus. Do you know what I mean? Because always something fucking goes wrong. Whether it's like me and Dan and Pete, and then trying to scrape someone off the street, or whether it's like we literally losing the title last year to a fucking 4+ roll because Alex is a shitbag and can't roll dice on demand, like, or Luke's inability to roll a 6 on demand as well, like fucking wasters. But like this year. So this year, Luke backed out and we put Phil in, and we know Phil's a fucking good player. Didn't he get like 5-0 last year or something horrendous?
Yeah, he did pretty well.
Yeah, so Phil's like
really well.
So Phil's really. Go on.
I think he was the second best England player after you So,
yeah. Put it this way,
he was on England too, wasn't he? And he got promoted because he was,
So we promoted.
He was really good.
So we promoted.
I think it was England 3 actually.
Yeah, it was free. Yeah.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah. But how did he repay us? By getting the fucking shits and the vomits and all the gangrene and all the fucking mate. He was just.
He says it was norovirus, but I think it was just pressure. I think he was just collapsed under
diphtheria. I don't fucking know what he's got. Fucking horrendous.
The pressure drove everything inside.
To be fair, bless him, he hadn't been feeling well for like a few days beforehand. Anyway, it's always that difficulty, right? Because it's in looking back, we could have said, "Look, you're ill and you're not going to get better. Don't come. Let us know, and we can see if we can work something out." Do you know what I mean? Like. But obviously, am I going to get better? You just don't know how long these things last, do you? So on the Saturday, he was feeling like shit, but he was like, right, it's WTC, let's give it a go. So he tried anyway. And like, he was definitely not on form. He only won one of his games on Saturday, which is the last one. And by Sunday, he was out. He was done. He was straight into bed. Because in between rounds and matches on the Saturday, he was going to bed. So you'd literally get up, come and play for 2 hours, and then go straight back to bed again, and then would come back up and play. So the fact he got one win at all was like fucking miraculous. So I
only found out Sunday morning when it was, Saturday evening or something like that. When it was confirmed he's going, it's like we need another player.
Well, you guys know what the WTC is, right? Like if you have just one player in a team who's not on form, it'll tank entire matchups and plans because
it runs the pressure on the other three that it means that to get through a round you need 2 wins and a draw out of the other 3, and we know that doesn't work. We tried it in Poland, we tried it in Cork, it doesn't work.
And don't get me wrong, so England won, lost against Australia in the first round, but we kind of almost were half expecting or ready for that because demolition was always going to be our worst mission. We knew that in advance, so the idea was we will lose the first mission and then we'll hard Diglett our way back up again, because in previous WTCs, right, we've always come very close to winning, even being 5-1 anyway, right? Because you can get there on secondary stuff. So that's actually possibly an easier route to get to the top than trying to go the hard way anyway, right? So it was like, okay, lose first round, that's fine. And by the end of Saturday, we was doing a strong Diglett because we'd absolutely smashed face the next 2 rounds, so we was ready to go. But then with Phil tapping out for the Sunday, it was like, so it was going into every round with 1 auto loss. So basically, it could have still worked if me, Rich, and Alex then just managed to keep winning and work our way up anyway. But it was like halfway through round 4 on Sunday morning, it quickly became apparent like, no, this isn't going to work. So in which case, we went to the bar. I say we went to the bar.
Rich was new best mates with the barman.
We got to the bar at 10:30. They wouldn't serve us till 11, so that was a crime.
Oh.
So we had to wait till 11, and then we started drinking. And we went proper British. So I could barely stand, and Alex could barely talk by halfway through round 5. We still had a round to go at that point.
Playing normally, right?
Yeah. So the fact that England came 9th, I think, out of 18 teams or something.
Yeah, you were top half. The
fact that we managed that up is a fucking credit because, God knows, because I went 3-3 because my last 2 games I fucking just fuck it, bombing shit. You know what I mean? So we'll never actually know how well those lists wouldn't have done because they never got tested properly, which is a bit of a shame. But next time we have a big WTC, well, the meta will change again, right? So we'll never know. But it was funny though. So I played Lars on round 5, and obviously the drinking's already started pretty hard at this point. And I said to him, I goes, Lars, do you know Bo's never beaten me, right? And he's like, ooh. I was like, if you beat me, you'll have got something that Bo never has, because it's just funny. It's just shits and gigs at this point, right? So. And I was like, oh yeah. So anyway, when I'm playing, every time I'm losing a dice, I'm like, no, you're barring me, mate. Oh, what the fuck, man? Bo sat right fucking behind me. I genuinely hope he heard every word. It's so funny. And this is the thing. We was playing Fog of War, time the objectives, and Lars started by putting 40 veteran scouts on those objectives.
Oh.
And it was...
he ran that Soviet list.
Yeah. And because it was Fog of War, I also then rolled up with all my vehicles, and then because of fog of war and he had more dice than me, he then followed up behind me. So, like, it very quickly became apparent the game was only going to go one way anyway, by and large. So I thought, fuck it, let's lean into it. Man tabled me, end of turn 4. So, Lars, man, he's a beast of a player, man.
His new
Beast.
name on Discord is Lars Toph Beater.
Toph Tabler, I believe.
Tabler, yeah.
Own it, man.
Said,
Own it.
It wasn't just England 1 that had issues. We also had Germany 2 have a player go missing.
Didn't he lose his passport or something?
Yeah, didn't take. It apparently appeared at the airport without a passport and couldn't get to
schoolboy error, man. That's sucking.
I mean, if he doesn't like England, then fair enough. He's done the right thing. But no, that meant that they subbed in Alessio Cavator to play for Germany too.
Okay. Is that a positive or a negative?
We needed a player.
Yeah,
It got to the point where I wasn't in Leicester at the time. I was further down south, and I was asking the locals that Rich Soresco's normally around, going, "Anybody free?"
Yeah. Where did Germany 2 come in the end?
Oh.
Germany 2. Let me get my spreadsheet up.
Well,
We've got a spreadsheet.
While you're doing that, I had one.
Germany 2 came 13th.
30, awesome. I had one hilarious moment with Timo, the Germany 2 captain. He hangs out in our Discord. Hi, Timo. And there's a point where we were chatting to each other, except I didn't know who he was. I didn't realise it was Timo. So he comes up and he's like, "Oh, hi, Toph, I've been chatting to Alex, blah, 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 blah." And I'm just sitting there staring at him like, What the fuck? What the fuck
You're
is going on?
sat there going, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah. And then I just immediately, my brain ticked, looked down, saw like his name on his t-shirt. I was like, Timo! Because I was like,
Personally, like,
don't get me wrong, like because of doing the podcast and stuff and being like, Mr. Big Bollocks World number 2 for at least a year. I'm used to people knowing who I am, but me not knowing who they are. But like, it was such like your team moment. There was one moment over the weekend where one of the American guys went, "So you're Toph?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he just goes, "Huh."
Wow.
That's
yeah. Huh.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Somebody you played?
No, just some random dude. We sat at the bar afterwards.
Oh,
huh.
Right.
What does that mean? I think my stature may not match up to the myth because I might be a fat bald bastard. Do you know what I mean? He's a bit of a twat.
Stature.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, the way you come across on the live streams is somebody who is very svelte with long hair.
The live streams with the video, spelt long hair.
Yeah.
There's nothing left of the imagination anymore.
He
now
does
that
have
we
a lot of
stream
long hair.
live.
You just can't see it.
No.
It's
I've got foot long pubes, mate.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's his hobbit feet.
It's between his shoulders.
Yeah, but that's just what you want, innit? When you discover something new, and someone goes, "Huh."
Yeah.
It's like, "Hey, Spurs, you want to come to my birthday party next week?" Huh.
Is that better or worse than someone going, "Ugh"?
I don't know. Like, do you really want you've got
It could have been. Oh,
you've got on a hot date. You've pulled a woman. You've wined her. You've dined her. You've swooned her. She's fallen for you. You've asked her if you want to come back to your house. She said yes. You're ready. This is happening. You go into your bedroom, ready to go. You put the Marvin Gaye on. Let's get it on. The mood lighting's on. The rose petals on the bed. It's time to shine. You undress. Take your boxers down. Huh.
Yeah.
Like, that's a boner killer, right? It's almost like
if they went, at least you know what you're working with.
Yeah. If it's
a bit non-committal, isn't it?
She's either a lesbian or you've not cleaned yourself properly. Do you know what I mean? That's fine. But if you get, especially if you get, with like a weird, like sidewise nod. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Hang on. Are you sure it wasn't like he's played too much Minecraft with his kid or something, and his brain's gone? Like Minecraft Villager.
No, I'd have been quite happy with the Minecraft Villager. I think I'd have understood it more. But that just raises more questions. Did I not amount to the Toph in your head? Did you have like some weird parasymbiotic relationship that I'm not akin to?
Hang on. Was this before or after he beat you?
Now.
No, I didn't play this guy. This was a random guy I spoke to in the pub later. He's a nice enough guy. We had an argument about how good British food is. It's all good. But, like, it was just weird because, like, So I'm just going to tell you...
Maybe you would have preferred Sheffy.
Everyone would prefer Sheffy. So basically,
until they meet him.
So basically, listener, if you live like a million miles away and you've listened to the Juggernauts for the past 5 years and you have a parasocial relationship with Toph and you think we're awesome best mates, I'm here to tell you now that I am not all that. And if you meet me in person, I will disappoint the fuck out of you, just like I disappoint Spurlie's wife.
That's true.
Yes, it's just fair. It's fair.
Hey, when the comment's fair, you just have
Yeah.
That's what I said, isn't it? Yeah.
You can't even be mad, can you?
No. I'm not mad. I'm not even disappointed.
I'm just disappointed.
No, I'm just ambivalent. So.
Ambivalent.
Did you
know what the sound means?
Yeah. It's almost it's the same noise you make when you've just been tabled by a list that you didn't think was that hard.
Yeah.
And you just go,
done that before.
Yeah.
That list didn't seem that bad. I've just been battered.
Yeah. Just like, it's turn 6 and you've lost 1,000 victory points to 2. Okay then. That's fine. Shit happens, doesn't it?
Although I am very glad that the top 3 was very different this year.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened, Spain? Mate, you've won like 6 WTCs and now V3 runs around goes and you've lost it. What the fuck, Spain?
Germany won, showed up.
No comprende.
I think the last round it was Spain v Germany for the final. Yeah. But I think Spain had to win and win by quite a lot of order dice.
Win well. Spain lost though round 4
against Germany though.
Against Germany won, yeah.
Yeah,
so they played Germany twice.
And at the end, as I was walking past all the games, Spain were winning one of them and winning 2, losing 1 and drawing 1 up until about the last half an hour, and then Germany pulled 2 of the results back so that it was 1 loss, 2 wins and a draw, so that they won the round. I think.
Done.
The final, the final round 6 was a draw.
Was it a draw overall?
I mean, either way, how good is that for the game? Like, it's just, I mean, no disrespect, but it'd been so boring if Spain had won again.
Yeah,
like, it's just been.
Well,
I'm happier.
Go on.
I was just going to say, I'm happier that Australia, that flew so fucking far.
Yeah, they did really well,
that flew so far.
Do you remember how far they flew?
Gave a damn good showing.
Yeah.
Dave told us.
49,000
a kabajillion, yeah.
Well, Carlos actually came up to me after the end of the event, and he was like, I'm really happy that we've not won it because it's so good for everyone else that it's not just Spain winning it all the time.
You know what he said to me and Alex? He goes, I'm so glad we didn't win. I now don't need to buy another t-shirt.
Yeah.
Because every time they get a new t-shirt done with another star on it, with another date on it, and this time's like, no.
Well, there's one thing. I can't remember when the WTC was in Southend, because the t-shirts they wore this year said WTC on it, but it had Southend on the back.
Yeah, because they had the world.
They put their WoW win on it
because they counted it as a world title.
Is it though?
No, of course it isn't.
I don't know. I don't want to start beef. I don't want to start beef.
It's Russell's friends that he wants to come to his event.
It's a full-on international tournament.
No. I'm not going to start beef. I'll merely say, WoW's an international event. Huh. There we go.
Yeah.
What they were missing was a WoW logo off there. There isn't a WoW logo.
Okay, cool. But I think the 2 biggest factors, Germany 1 getting Felix on board is a smashing plan because Felix is a mega player. Felix is wicked.
Well, we were saying 12 months ago, say, who was Felix? Nobody knew who he was until he went to the singles event in Spain, happened to stay over an extra night, and then got roped into the USA team.
Yeah.
They just needed somebody.
Yeah.
Well, no, he might have been known in on the German scene, but in terms of the international scene, nobody knew who he was until then.
Yeah. I mean, I've only played Felix once, and I've beaten him once because I beat him last year at WC. So I'm never going to play him ever again because I don't want that. I don't want that treasured memory to be ruined. But yeah, and can we have a moment for our Lord and Savior, our good friend Manuel? What a traitor!
I know. Do you know what? There was a point. Was it round 5, Spurlie, when Spain played Wales?
Yeah.
And it was so glorious that the Welsh were doing so brilliantly finally when Russell wasn't there, and Spain were doing so. And Spain were looking like they weren't going to win the event as Manuel traded his way onto the team.
That was round 2. That was early.
Was it round 2? Okay.
Yeah.
So for listeners who aren't familiar, our good friend Manuel, he's a half Spanish, half German chap, and historically he's always played in the German team.
Hang on. Sorry, I think
that's
he's
where he
Spanish, but he lives in Germany.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if he's after whatever. Is Spanish, lives in Germany, always played on the German team. For whatever reason this year he migrated back to the Spanish team. And of course, the one time he does that, he then misses out on gold. Because the team he normally captained didn't win. And you know what? That was the discussion of the weekend. The whole
great,
loyalty to one's team and stuff. Because the whole I don't think there's ever been official rules on you must be from if you actually do ask Mr. Nolan about a certain...
Mr. Nolan doesn't like team transfers.
After Trump decided he was going after Denmark, somebody decided that they were on board with that. And I'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
But they've never been hard enforced. I mean, look at the whole hilarious... We've been laughing at the Welsh for being basically an England team for however long, for years now. So it's never been enforced. It's never been it's not like we check passports at the door or anything.
Russell did live in Wales for at least 3 years, so he's got some kind of resident grounds there.
I once had a shift in a service station at Gretna Green. What's your point? I'm not Scottish.
Well, it's like the Danish team as well.
If you keep going and winning the Scottish Nationals,
I've not been back since I've. To be honest,
Sorry.
It's like the Danish team's got Martin. He's an English guy,
but he lives over there.
He lives there, I think. And one of the guys that was playing for USA 4 was an English guy, but
he lives in Kentucky. That guy, I forgot his name. He was a lovely chap. Yeah.
Is it Michael?
I don't know names. I just know.
I'm looking at the team names of USA 4, and if I had to take a guess, I know I've got a feeling Joe's American. I've got a feeling August is American. I've got a feeling Jackson's American, so it might be Michael.
Yeah.
I just want to say the German lads that were playing there, obviously, Felix was new on the scene, like the new Will Ferrell. He's so hot right now meme. It's really good. The two other new players that I don't think they've ever taken before was Sebastian, who was a very good player.
Was it a whole new team then?
No, because Thomas was.
I know. Thomas is old.
But 3 of them were, yeah.
But I mean,
Martin, Felix, and Sebastian.
Wow, that's.
But I think Martin was new as well. But I just want to tell a story of what I was saying to Spurlie at the event. He's so good, this lad. Martin, if you're listening, I mean this with the greatest of respect to you.
He's about to be a cunt. I'm sorry, he's bad.
No. If there is ever a new Bond villain to be cast and it's a German guy, please apply for the role. Because as he was playing, he had a little gay-like man bum bag thing and he wore it across his chest. Bit gay, but we'll let him off. But what he would do is he'd stand there holding it with both hands while someone was playing their turn or playing their dice. And if it was his turn, he'd roll the dice for it. But he's so calm and mild-mannered and so quiet. every time he would kill the opponent, he'd go, "I have killed 3 of your men." And that was it. That's all the emotion he ever showed. Is it like, your tank is dead?
I would lose against that because it's just like, your voice is mesmerising me. You just carry on.
do you know that meme where it's like the one out of James Bond, and it's like, I have 30 orc boys and I cast the jump.
Yeah,
wow, Mr. Bond.
When he's playing the casino.
Yeah. Oh,
I raised you a Charmander, Mr. Bond. It was honestly like that. I have killed 3 of your men, Mr. Bond. Your move. Please apply 1 pin.
Oh, brilliant.
But he was like a silent assassin. He never got flustered, never raised his voice, barely spoke to anyone outside of his games. Like, it was purely just focused on the games. But every time he spoke, it was absolute gold.
Is that like German Dan then, where it's all business and no play? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I'm here to win.
If we've got to compare that to what I've seen from Dan, that is Dan, the morning of day 2 in Cork, where he's just too fucking tired to care, is very quiet, going, yeah.
This guy was much nicer than Dan, because Dan turns up to the table and he just looks at you and goes, "I've already beat you, cunt."
And then the opponent just goes, "Huh."
Everybody going, "So you're Dan." Huh.
Yeah, well, afterwards I did get a message, which is probably my the nicest bolt action related thing anyone has ever said to me, which is Thomas, which was captain of Germany one. We were messaging saying, "Oh, congratulations on your win and whatever. It's brilliant to see that the German team's doing so well and blah blah blah." And he said, "Well, I've got to thank you as well, really, because our game a few years ago, when you absolutely battered me, was like my first introduction to professional level bolt action, and it's what drove me on to do it first." Like,
look what you did!
Yeah,
look what you
professional
did.
level. Yeah, because I remember the first year we played Germany 2 years in a row, didn't we? And the second year I played Uwe, and the first year I played Thomas, and I wiped the floor with him.
Oh,
we've always
the second year I played Manuel, I got battered first year and draw against him second year. So.
England's historically always done quite well against Germany. Actually, thinking of that,
obviously
I know the players and the teams all changed and everything, but still,
they certainly did well against Germany in the early 20th century.
Yeah.
One thing that I like so far is obviously like thinking of like the England WTC team. I get all like kind of like soppy and nostalgic over it, because obviously we went, I think 7 years ago when we first started WTC, and it was literally me, Pete and Dan and whoever we could scrape off the floor, because we couldn't find anyone who'd actually be willing to come. And now all this time where we managed to send fucking 4.5 teams to the WTC, and like actually Team England, like, yeah, we may not have won anything, but we at least stand up as a team where other people are like, ooh. Do you know what I mean? Like, which is pretty interesting.
Greg hear you say.
Greg in England 4 captain, current reigning champions of the wooden spoon.
Love it.
Yeah,
love it. Yeah.
And outrageously the best wooden spoon trophies, I think.
I know. Absolutely.
Yeah, listener, if you haven't seen it, go and find the IGE page, or maybe it's in the Bolt Action Competitive as well. It might have been shared to there.
Yeah, I think.
But go and check out these wooden spoon things. Everyone was fighting on day 2 to be the worst team so that they could win the wooden spoon, because it's such a good trophy. Everyone just wanted it for their kitchen, because it doesn't say Bolt Action anywhere, so it's just like a real power fist kind of statement. Wooden spoon, as if it's in your kitchen going, "This is the wooden spoon, you will use it."
Then you had Bob on the Australia team, who was desperate to roll foo bars, because by the end of it he had 4 of last year's event exclusive miniatures, which, based on Australian dollary do, is probably enough to bankroll the entire Australian team next year. So
nice. No, I also noticed from an event in England, a big event in England or Wales or even Scotland, you judge it on certain people being there. And I looked down the list of players there and went, we've got a Moody, we've got a Martin, We've got another Martin. We've got the trifecta because there's an Alan Wells. What is going on?
Well,
it was definitely an official bolt action event because of the people.
I made an active effort to try and get a wide representation of Team England. Because people have come into England, they're playing in Sheffield. This is the home of bolt action, blah blah blah. So there's no. I wanted to kind of like show people like if you used to come to play a tournament in England, this is what it would be like. These are the sort of people you play. Because the likes of Martin and Moody turn up to fucking everything. They may not be like they may not be the best players. They may not be like power gamers. I mean, obviously Martin's capable of pulling out some wins when he wants to.
Martin took a year in V2 where he went, "Fuck it, I'm trying to win it." Fair play.
But they're good, solid guys, and they're people when you say right, you're playing these guys, you're like wicked. Let's go.
Martin was very close to being undefeated.
Yeah,
it was 1 win, 4 draws. So,
and he's still got that's the best result to get the spoon ever.
Dan, you laugh, but it's all a draw is undefeated.
It's just the way you said he was very close to be undefeated and took it seriously. I know technically 4 defeats isn't 4 losses,
no,
but they are fucking wins, are they?
It's undefeated. Yeah,
it is technically, yeah.
No.
If you'd have won the championship and you'd have drawn a load of games, or the Premiership with Liverpool this year, and you'd have drawn a load of games, you'd have been claiming being invincibles the same as we did at Arsenal.
You do, yeah.
So
you don't lose. Simple as that.
Was there any behind the scene drama from the WTC tournaments, like organised sort of thing? Obviously, I know Pete, you had last minute family issues meant you couldn't come because there's only Spurlie and Dan. Yeah, well, life gets in the way, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was trying to come, but there was legitimately, it was like, if I was to come, I would need to pay for probably an internal flight up and down each day just to get there. So I was there like, there's no point.
Yeah, there's no judgment on my part.
So I put the scoring spreadsheet together, made it look pretty, left a cute little note for my boys in the TO team, and then fried in my little corner.
Yeah, so as far as... Oh, go on, Spell. You go first.
I was just going to say the biggest question. So, the most asked question over the whole weekend, which I think got asked at least once per round, was that can their small arms fire past their comp simulator?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the rulebook. Right? It literally has a diagram in the rulebook showing it. But yeah,
now I think about it, I didn't call you guys over, but I had that exact thing where I had to explain to someone damage isn't pins. Yeah, because you can't fire within an inch of someone you could damage, but you can't damage them if you can only cause pins. And
my answer was the same every time. I said, "Are you rolling on the damage table?" No. Well, there you go then. Carry on.
I tell you, I just didn't even give them that much. It was just like, can he fire past this? Yes.
Yeah.
They just walk off. Well, it was just like, it just didn't need the time of day for that kind of question.
no, that's one of the ones where you get it and you think, really?
Yeah.
Okay. But most of the questions we have were, can this see that? What cover does this get? Stuff like that.
Sight. It was line of sight. It was actually quite a quiet weekend for us, Dan, wasn't it?
In terms of like drama, there wasn't any. The biggest drama we had was loads and loads of people had filled out lunch orders, not put their name on it, or paid for it, and then just handed it in at the bar. So Dave had to go round during round 1 with like 40 sheets of paper going, I don't know who the fuck's done any of this. Who's ordered this? Who's ordered that? So there was the usual WTC non-handled by me and Spurlie thing where something beyond our control fucks up, but it was sorted.
Yeah.
And then everything for the event wise, it was all perfect. That was it. One person submitted the wrong list, so the list he brought was slightly different because there was an admin error, but it was still legal. It was still per the pack, and it was very, 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 very similar. It's like 1 or 2 units that were very slightly different.
He wasn't,
but that was it. So, but that was it. It was like it was USA 4. It was the guy right at the bottom of the table fighting England 4 for the worst team. It was, or USA 3. Sorry, it was just a nothing.
Yeah,
a nothing.
He brought like an anti-tank, an auto cannon rather than a howitzer or something. It was like, well,
it's always a sign of a well-run tournament if the TOs are bored. Because if the TOs have done their job properly, all the work's been done up front, and then on the day it just runs smoothly, and there's nothing. Yeah.
I could tell through the stream how bored Dan was.
Well, round 6, Dan was spending more time watching the Liverpool game on his phone.
You did scare the absolute shit out of me when he was walking past my table. He was like, "Get my shot!" I'm like, "What?" Dude, I rolled a 1. Oh wait, he's watching football. Never mind.
I was disappointed with the response during the last game when we were halfway there. Not more people shouted back that they were living on a prayer. So
I shouted out, "Whoa, we're halfway there," and no one did anything. Well, Spurlie did because we'd been planning it. No one else did.
Greg did as well. I was stood over by Greg.
Well, that's why Greg gets the spoon because he's.
You were absolutely smashed, Hope. You didn't know what day it was, let alone what time it was.
Yeah.
Do you think I got a bit too drunk, or is that just like bolt action England? This is what it is.
Rich and his opponent got too drunk. You were just teetering on that level.
I've legitimately at one of our events. See, I think Rich was playing his mate that he gets pissed with quite a lot.
He
was legitimately looking at that game, going, "This is gonna be a nightmare if they don't finish because they're too fucking drunk."
They took a break in the middle of that game to watch the Bath rugby match.
No, that wasn't the one. It was the year before.
Oh,
they were absolutely blasted. And I was there like,
yes.
We as a team decided that the first person to lose needs to go to the bar. So like we buy rounds for the team. So we did it properly. So anyone I may have accidentally upset with my drunkenness on Sunday, maybe you thought it was inappropriate to be that drunk at a bolt action tournament. I can only apologise.
There's a great story about Rich and. During round 6, when he was, let's just say, heavily drinking.
God save the king.
At one point, he walked back to the bar with about 9 glasses in his arms to go and get more drinks. But at one point, he walked down to the bottom. Bear in mind, we're streaming the entire room, right? He walks down to the bottom of the room because he's at the other end. So he's walked the entire length of the room. He's walked in front of the camera, streaming it. He stands there and picks his nose. He then loses track of what he's doing. He does a 360, confused by his own nose picking, and then goes, and then carries on walking to the bar.
May I just say to my fellow teammate, what a legend is our Rich. And the thing is, he still went undefeated. He's on 4 wins and 2 draws. we did say as a
that's the scary thing.
Me and Alex, when we did our at the end, we were like, we should have just got Rich drinking earlier. Do you know what I mean? Like, clearly, this is just, the man knows how to game.
The secret to getting to Rich to be completely undefeated is just go, here's more alcohol, mate.
Yeah. But the thing is, what else was we supposed to do, right? Like, we knew we couldn't win. We knew we couldn't place. And there's no point us trying to go hardball to try and climb the table and it's just never going to happen. So just sit back and enjoy it. And you know what the sad thing is? Those were like 2.5 of the best games of bolt action that I had all weekend.
Yeah.
Because the pressure was off. There was no requirement to prove ourselves or anything. Like, I don't need to prove anything to me anymore. I don't need to prove to myself or to anyone else anymore that I'm a good player. Like, I can sit there, get absolutely smashed, and be like, yeah, it's fine. So
I've been in that spot, mate.
A tutorial.
Yeah,
I've been in that spot when I was when the first time we had an England 2, and I was leading that through. And first day we'd just been a disaster. Second day I went, let's just enjoy it, boys.
Yeah,
and we had the best day ever.
Yeah, and it just reinforced what I said.
He came up to us and went, "You're gonna have to play Ireland again," and we went, "Who fucking cares?"
I said it to a lot of like the younger England teams, like especially with all the new guys who were coming on for this year. It's like, if you're in a lower team, do not worry about WTC because you might have one tough game, but you'll have more fun at the bottom. And the top of the table is serious time, man. Top of the table is hardcore.
And yet, I think one of those youngsters was one of the better players.
Probably, yeah.
Well, was it England 2 or England 3 that finished 5th?
England 3.
So they did really well. Really.
Ironically, so Luke on England Free, one of our fellow juggernauts, he came up to me, messaged me 4 weeks ago, basically threatening to drop out because he didn't think he was good enough. And he didn't think he was enjoying his games enough and didn't think he would do it. And I kind of had to shake him and be like, Luke, you're in England Free. You've got no pressure to do anything. Just come, roll dice, hang out with friends, be alcoholic like the rest of England Free as your king demands it. And then just enjoy life. He's like, okay. And he comes and fucking smashes everyone, the prick.
And he went 4-1.
I think so, you did really
3-2-1 he did.
3-2-1. Yeah, that's wicked. For a first WTC.
Only one loss at WTC is really good.
And
he got the attention of Alessio with his army.
Oh, his bright purple army.
Oh, yeah.
the Germans that are on meth. See, what do the Germans see?
Yeah, I love that.
If me and Dan were responsible for picking best painted, results may have been a lot different.
Yeah.
I had a feeling Mr. Nolan had no kind of patience for that nonsense.
No, he was not interested at all when I suggested to him that we put it on the best take. Even not for even going to actually give it to them. But
just as a joke,
yeah.
Whatever. I'm still upset that mine didn't even get an acknowledgement pin. Come on.
Well, to be fair, up until Dan said to Yano, "I'll just chuck yours on as well," Yano wasn't even in for consideration.
Wow.
Well, the thing is Dave said to me and Spurlie, "Go round and choose your favourites. Go and choose the ones that you think are the best ones here, and I'll double check them. And if I agree with you, we'll call them up to be put on the desk, and I'll view it on the Sunday and choose the winner." Okay. We did it. We toured around. Went this. We chose about 5 armies, I think, and Yano wasn't one of them because we just didn't think it was very good. It was very basic, and we thought it was a bit Yeah, but clearly Dave values other things in a painted.
So, because I was proper offended because at the end of I can't remember what round it was, I said to Spurlie, where do you put my army for best painted?
Yeah,
and Spurlie just went, "Have you been invited?" And I was like, "No," and he's like, "Then you're not up for best painted then." And I was like, "What?" And Spurlie was like, "Yeah, we've only picked the ones we like," and I'm like, "Huh?
Wow."
Yeah.
But to be fair, when we were walking around. Yeah, when we were walking around with Dave, he did choose yours as one of the ones for notice, but it wasn't put forward as one of the finalists.
I've never won Best Painted at WTC, and that's absolutely fine. But every year, I get an acknowledgement dice to say, "Good job, Toph," and that's all I want of my little ego. It's still more of a painting
you
award than
Chef. You could have bought one for £1. Dave had 600 of them left.
That's not the point. That's not the point, because what that dice represents is another painting acknowledgement that I have that Sheffy doesn't. And that's what's important to me, and you guys robbed me from that. All of that, all of those mistakes that I covered in modelling putty and mud effects, wasted.
I've seen how you cover those.
Two things there, Toph. We know those mistakes are there.
But Dave doesn't.
Next year, paint better. There you go. That's how you win. Wow. Just paint better.
Wow.
Just paint better.
It's just.
Well, speaking of next year, then
coming at me like that.
What would if you were going to attend next year as a player? Then, Toph, what would you want to be different from that event? Apart from maybe not having demolition.
No!
I agree.
Demolition himself.
Great.
Yeah. A 4th player that's not stuck on the toilet.
I don't. Yeah, a 4th player not stuck on the shit. I don't know. I'd like some changes because I like the pack changing every year just to shake things up, so you can't take the same thing each time. I would like more of a way to work as a more. I like also more decisions to make as a team. If that makes sense. I don't necessarily know
You've
what that.
Got those.
Yeah, I don't know what it looks like, but anything that encourages that sort of thing more, the better.
Well, the other thing in the pack that the Welsh lads worked out last year was you don't have to play the same list every time. You could decide that that engineer is over there, but I'm shit against that player, so you play that list and beat him.
Yeah, you know? I don't know. I'd like Fog of War to just be one mission. I think 2 is probably a bit. I'm happy with it.
6 missions then, Dan.
Yeah, but I'm happy with, like, say, the Fog of War priority target, not priority target, the Fog of War timely. That's fine. If I was to request any change, it would stop you coming on from the same board edge one, like from the narrative side of the pack, just to stop the rear ending, because I just think that's a little bit silly. But otherwise, I'm happy for there to be one as like a crazy mission. In terms of the rest of the missions, I'm happy with all of them. In other one, Demolition, I'd probably swap to something like Double Envelopment, probably. But whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever the pack is, you present it with the challenge. Here's the framework, and you go and you try and work it out. Yeah. So
that's one thing, isn't it? When people complain about scenarios, like, "Oh, this isn't a good scenario," it's like, just if it's not good, just win it.
Yeah, my only.
You've got to be good at everything.
All of our complaints in V2 around Demolition and Top Secret was because people were like, "Oh, why are they shit?" And we go to events and go, "This is why," and beat them.
There is an
and
element,
they'll be like, "Oh, it's like."
And I'm not unhappy about Demolition being included, because there's an element of you got to try it, see what works, right? And I like that. Yeah. If nothing else, it made people bring different.
We
lists.
had a week to write the pack, right? Yeah. We had a week to write it before we put it out there, and we did change Demolition to try and make it more interesting and more tactical, where taking engineer units that were veteran gets you a 2+ roll on the demo.
And it was interesting seeing people clearly building their list to do that. And with having been, and I think the greatest change this year was being able to swap the 5th list in and out. That was brilliant. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's got to stay for
everyone.
That has to stay. Has to absolutely stay.
A few teams didn't bring their 5th list because of logistical reasons.
Yeah.
No, just trying to get. It's hard enough getting 4 armies halfway around the world.
I guess
to pack a 5th as well.
I guess what I would like. Yeah, I'd like to see some form of like.
But
go on, sorry. I'm jumping in.
I was just going to say, most of the people that didn't actually bring their 5th list have said that if that continues next year, they will definitely make sure they have 5 armies.
And I've already said, like, Team England didn't, at least England 1 didn't utilise that as well as we could have if we'd thought about it more. Now, what I would like to see is, like, I guess, like, see, one idea I guess I think would be cool would be something alike. I don't know the specifics, so chat, commenters, like, don't bite my head off. It's just literally me throwing ideas out. Is if you had something along the lines of each team could take so many of each platoon type. Like, say, you could have each team can have up to 4 armoured platoons. And you could either stack them all in one list if you wanted to, or you could spread them out over the players. However, you can only take up to 4 armoured platoons. And then it's something for you to debate, right? Like, which player needs the tank platoons? Do you spread them all out so everyone's got a bit of everything? Or do you stack them so one person brings 20 FT-17s? That kind of thing. Because that is just anything that can get you as a team to work as a team, I think is a bonus, because that's obviously it's a team event. And also I think that might in some ways curtail certain spam, because, like, sure, you can stack one army with, like, all of these artillery pieces, great, but then that one army is using up the entire team's artillery budget, say, which would be fine, but then that's obviously you can't win a tournament based on one good list at a team event, because you've got the other 3 games you still need to win. So it's just anything like that's the interesting stuff, right? Like, that's
the other idea that we were talking about during the event was bringing in fantasy-style point limits.
Oh, like the 50,
the percentages,
like the one with
50% core,
or
50%
rifle platoons, 25% on heavy weapon platoons, 25% on tank platoons.
But I guess we're doing
or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing the 50% rifle tax at Battle of Britain. We did it at not 6 step back, and it worked pretty damn well at not 6 step back. So I guess if we works well at Battle of Britain as well, then that's your evidence to say it works.
It works,
But even if it doesn't work, right, you try it for a year, and then either people will go yay or people will go nay. And if it says yay, you go wicked, let's keep it. And if people say nay, well, there's only 1 year, let's try something different.
Well, it certainly fucks with Toph's favourite rifle platoon.
Oh, the 1 NX officer, 2 5-man NX guys, all mounted in a single truck that's in reserve.
The one that goes, no, we don't get involved yet, mate.
Yeah, it's the turn 5 special, mate. What are you talking about?
So it worked well, like you say, worked well at not 6 steps
not
back.
6, yeah.
We've got Battle of Britain coming up, which is going to be relatively small pool of players compared to what we usually get. But then we've got mincemeat as well.
Are you guys open to ideas? If I was to suggest like from other, would you guys be open to feedback from other reps and TOs and stuff like? If someone's got a cool idea, if someone's got a cool idea of what you should do at the WTC next year,
It's the whole reason I read John Ross's like full
what did
he know? You know?
Yeah.
I haven't read that yet.
I'm just also aware that there is definitely like a too many chefs kind of vibe. Do you know what I mean?
Because that's the thing is you want them to have enough choice that they feel like they're impactful choices.
Yeah.
But you don't want it to be too complicated because, dear listener, please be aware of the 20 captains that submitted lists, 17 of them were having to be sent back because people can't write an Excel or a Word file correctly. This is the level we're dealing with.
Never mind those Warlord. I get it. The Warlord app is useful, but when we ask for not the Warlord app and we still get Warlord app,
I guess the Warlord app the Warlord app is useful if you've got a list next to you to review during your play. It's not useful when you've got 160 lists you need to review because you want them in like the same format.
So many pages.
I get it. Yeah.
You've also got the potential that the Warlord team that use the Warlord app exclusively, they might be contractually obliged to use the Warlord app. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, when that one came in, I was expecting it. It's the one team where I was like, I expect this because they're probably obliged to use it.
Yeah.
Their lists were also sent back for being incorrect.
Warlord!
Just saying. So the app isn't 100% correct, and one of the reasons we don't like people using the app, apart from it being a fucking nightmare to read for review purposes, I mean, it's got loads of information on there, brilliant. If you're a new player, it's got everything you ever need on there, great. But all I need is 5-man squad, regular, 50 points. Done. But when it's got incorrect units on there that are allowed or not allowed, and people complain about it, and then they... Like last year, people were using the app and the Easy Army thing, and they printed off their PDF, took a photo of it with it handwritten on, truck added on because it wasn't available. And there's just little bits like that don't work. So when I say put it in a Word document, put it in a fucking Word document. Easy.
I did chuckle to myself because one of the Warlord guys was the guy who demoed V3 to be in Spurlie and got the rules wrong. And I was like, I hope he's learnt to fix the rule by now. But, oh wow. You know what? It was good to see Warlord there in a big capacity supporting the event. Because I know Warlord do a lot of talk. I know we've been quite critical in the past of like, oh yeah, they'll say they'll do this and then they never do. It was good to see them there doing the do. And by the I wasn't there because we was off drinking and eating on the Saturday night, but I like that Alessia were there, was doing the QA, and by the sounds of it, that went down quite well.
I watched a bit of that. It was pretty good, to be fair. The Warlord guys turned out that they did say quite openly they probably should have brought stronger lists.
Yeah, they were very much told to go and represent the company, give everyone a nice, fun game, and make sure that they enjoy it.
And don't be a bastard.
They've been given a looser leash next year to be able to actually play properly.
But
it was a bit like the Irish when they came. It was very much come and fill the numbers.
They
boys.
should listen to the Juggernaut Ball Action podcast, where we always say having a hard list and being a cunt are mutually exclusive things. Like you can turn up and play a competitive game without being an arsehole.
Yeah,
and I think 99.9999% of the players at WTC do fit that criteria.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The only issue I had all weekend was one bit which we can probably chalk down to a translation error. Like,
it was just a. When you're speaking your native language, you obviously speak it very quickly, and this applies to everyone in the world. You know, whether you're English, Spanish, German, or whatever. When you're speaking to your mates in your own language, you speak it really quickly. If you then have to slow it down for someone who doesn't speak that language and they can't understand it very well, that's when you get the issues. And that's the inherent problem with the WTC. is you get, even though it says you must be able to speak a good level of English, not everyone can.
And you know what? That's probably my one criticism of the WTC, and it's one that I've had for probably years now, and it's never going to get fixed because of the nature of it, which is that the pack is very clear, right? Everyone needs to speak English. It's an English run event, and I know I'm sitting here on my pedestal speaking English because it's well easy for me, right? But at the same time, when you're playing a game when someone's captain needs to speak for them, in my personal view, clearly your English isn't good enough.
No,
I
agree.
Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, the day the WTC starts judging people's language skills and then saying you can't turn up because your English isn't good enough, it's the beginning of a dark path, and I understand why. That's a path the IG don't want to go down. So
and it's
it's just one of those things, yeah.
The flip side of that is it's very stringent with the I think the USA teams did it. I don't know if the Australian teams did, but I know the England teams have done it, which is they are very, very clear with their players. If you're playing somebody whose natural language, their mother tongue isn't English, you need to slow down.
Yeah. Guilty as fuck over here.
And you need to do it. You need to help them because they know more than one language. You might only know one. And so help them out.
And even beyond the language, right? And this is something because of the issues. So for players, the issue that came up was there was a mistranslation error about whether and a communication issue around unit special rules and whether it was communicated to I had brought 2 Lees. They are vulnerable. My opponent wasn't aware that they were vulnerable. Now, then the issue is did you or did you not tell me? Or did you speak at 1,000,000 miles an hour and then he missed it? Or was was I specifically trying to hide it from you, etc.? And it's all been sorted out under the rug now, whatever. But regardless of whether that is, there's certain things that people just take for granted. Like for me, I see a Stewart and you just know it's vulnerable because of course it's a Stewart, of course they've taken the vulnerable one, right? So there's also assumptions, but also just things like how people count modifiers. So one thing I noticed is if I say hit you in the rear with a tank, with a gun, I go, well, I've got a +4 gun because it's a light AT gun. I'm on the rear, so that goes up to +6, and I'm also within 6 inches, so it's on +7. Cool, I'm rolling +7 to hit. Do you know what I mean? Whereas in Spain, they will go, well, I'm hitting you on the rear, I'm within 6 inches, so I get +3. Because they're not counting the modifiers for the strength of the gun itself. Which means you're saying the same thing, but one of you's playing +7, the other one's playing saying +3. So, and then if you add the language issues on top of that, there's just so much avenues to get confused. Like, you know. So it's
easily done.
Yeah,
is all I'll say. It is very easy to have that miscommunication and to misinterpret or just misunderstand what someone's saying. The difference between someone going +7 and +3, but not counting the gun modifier. That's just your locality will do it differently. It's just and again, that was one of the weirdest things that happened that weekend. And when we got the 2 captains together to explain what happened, it was very clearly, well, he's talking quite quickly. He's not really understood what's going on. That's it. It's just a misunderstanding. And both captains were like, well, that's obviously what's gone on. So that's it.
Yeah, it is what it is. The only other, I guess, issue for me over the weekend, it's not WTC at all. And I'll try and be really brief because it's all done now. But there was a player or two that brought politics from their own country over, especially in the pub.
After the event, wasn't it?
There was a couple of situations. So there was a couple of situations. I think 2 or 3 during the event, or at least on like the evenings. Not during the event, but like, when you go into the pub on the Saturday night, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then there was one major event that definitely happened after the event, again, in the pubs and stuff in the evening. And don't get me wrong, I don't think for 1 minute that people are going out of their way to try and upset people or stuff like that. But I think there's definitely an aspect of clashing of cultures. And especially with like English banter, let's say. I think people misinterpret it what it is. And I think it's very easy as an outsider to see, well, you English people are all ragging on each other, therefore I can join in. which is
the thing is, we know that we're taking the piss.
Yeah, and I think, and don't get me wrong,
and
everyone takes their piss out of each other in their own friendship groups. You know what I mean? Everyone, because that's just human nature, right? But when you're trying to like merge friendship groups, the line between banter and just being a knobhead is really fucking fine. Really fine. And if you're not from that culture, or if you don't speak that language, generally, it's so freaking easy to accidentally walk on over it and be like, no, you're not being banty now, you're just being a cunt. Do you know what I mean? So we had a couple of issues like that, but like, I don't want to go on about it because like not enough to ruin the whole thing.
It got solved. People drank more beer. Life is good.
Yeah. I would just, probably say to everyone out there in the world that if you're going to visit another place, country, someone's house, whatever, just be really careful about what you say about that said country's house. Don't shit where you eat.
Just to help you with your spade here, because you don't need to dig a hole. Calm down. Completely unrelated to gaming at all. I won't visit any country that treats a woman as a second-class citizen, which, a lot of the Middle East is off-piste for me. But does that mean that if I end up in that country, I won't pay attention to their laws? Hell no!
Well, we all voted for reform, so get used to that, Pete.
Fucking...
Sorry. Next topic.
Where we live, we're in the bin. We are in the bin. One of the most multicultural areas in the entire fucking country, and look what we've done.
The irony of us asking not to discuss politics at an event and then immediately discussing politics.
I don't know what you're talking about, Dan. I'm just, whatever. But you know what? If that's the worst of the event, I'll take that. Compared to some of the shit that's gone down previous WTCs, you know what I mean? Like, it's a freaking breath of fresh air, isn't it?
A lot of people have said, and a few of them actually came up to me at the end of the event, and not many people actually come up to thank you as a TO at the WTC, which is mind-boggling. It really is. I'd probably say like half a dozen people come up to thank you at the end of the event, which is really bad out of 80. But like the Polish team all came over as one, and they all shook your hands and said thank you very much. And it was like they all said it was the best WTC they've been to, and that speaks volumes. And I think actually it probably was, because at the end of day 2 I still had a voice. There were no incidents anywhere. Everything ran smoothly. The scoring was all perfect every time. The matchups and stuff were all done on time, and the round started on time. It was just everything you needed to happen at an event happened. The only thing that went wrong was the catering thing, because again, people can't write the correct information on a piece of paper and hand it to someone.
I mean, that's put in from schools, like write name here, okay, and then this is a blank page, and somebody inevitably writes, no, it's not.
I mean, I'll take the time to thank you all here, because like being a TO is a very thankless job. Like, it's a lot of fucking work. It's a lot of behind the scenes work, and if it all goes well, people barely notice you exist. And if it all goes wrong, it's all your fault, right? Like,
referee life.
You can't win. And as I say, you're doing it well when you're bored as fuck. So good job, guys. Good job. I mean, I'll say the same feedback that I gave last year when you were TOing, which is like, it feels so lonely to have you three TOing and then me like being a player, because there's that barrier in between us. And like, I can come and say hi, but at the same time, there's that whole like, don't fraternize the TO team. You don't want to, trigger someone's nepotism.
You know what feels more lonely? Yeah. You're there on a weekend where all your mates, all of them, everybody that could be around you because you're somewhere else in the country, are all in the same fucking place, and you're there going, I can't be there!
I'm sorry.
All I'll say is, this was the worst WTC for me in terms of an experience. One, because it was such a small team. It was just me and Spurlie on the day, and we were always like doing something apart from each other. So it was very rare that me and Spurlie actually got to just stand together and chat shit and laugh.
It was mostly once the round was over, whilst I was sat there trying to put all the data in, Dan could sit down next to me and just watch me put the data in.
Yeah, and that was it. And during the rounds, one of us was invariably going round the hall to do something, and one of us was doing something else somewhere else. So it was very lonely nothingness that weekend for me, especially when you see the teams going out for meals together. Like on that Saturday night, I was left on my own in the bar doing nothing while all the other teams went out to get a drink and get food together, and Spurlie had to go and do the admin for the Q&A. But it's like, well, what part of this is fun for me, mate?
I think I think you need to make your TO team a bit bigger, Dan.
And that's it, right?
Yeah.
I said sorry. I left a note in the sheet saying sorry. What? I can't clone myself.
Well, let's watch this space. You know, next year's another year. We'll have to see what happens. Are you allowed to say where it is yet?
Yeah, it's publicly known that it's Denmark now.
Denmark.
Aalborg.
We've been furiously googling as a team how we're going to get there, and I think the correct answer is we fly to Copenhagen and get a party bus. And do a 4-hour piss up. Yeah, no, Spurs got your own ideas, but like that doesn't include a 4-hour piss up train. So like,
do you want just a little secret here?
Yeah.
Sorry. Do you want to know what the reason this WTC was actually really smoothly running? Everything was almost perfect apart from the meals. Is because he separated it out into 3 weekends and fucked off the Star Wars nerds and the Hobbit shaggers. Guess what he's doing next year in Denmark? He's bringing it all back together, so he has all that stress in one weekend, and everything goes to shit when we have to rely on other TOs to do their stuff.
No. As long as we've got different rooms, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
we won't. That's the problem.
Well, sure, whatever. Because each event will be run separately, and also think of it this way, Dan. If you're there, you'll only have to deal with Dave for a third of the time.
I mean, he's got a strong.
I didn't have to deal with Dave at all this week. The other weekend,
I'll tell you what.
He was off doing his socialising stuff.
Do you know what he was doing? You know what he's doing? Every 20 minutes, he was coming up to me, putting his hand on my shoulder, looking at me in the eye, and going, "You all right, Toph?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, "You having fun, Toph?" No.
Leave me alone. Grooming you a weekend, mate.
He just wanted a kiss, mate.
It's really weird because he's like, "Are you enjoying your games?" I'm like, "No, because I fucking ate free." Oh god, yeah. It's so like I love being at the WTC because of like, you know, the being out and socialising with friends and all, but the actual games themselves are like the worst freaking bit.
Yeah.
Oh well, onwards and upwards. Onwards and upwards, though, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I had a fun adventure before the WTC.
Where'd you go? Oh, didn't you go to an event at Factorum?
Yeah, did a one-dayer because, and this is my other half's quote, when I brought it up, because I was there like, I probably won't be able to go, it's fine, I could go and do that. Go and do it, go now. It's like,
Pete got the get the fuck out my house order.
I got the, well, you fuck off for a bit. It's like, yes, okay. So, despite it being in Rich C's backyard, I didn't tell him. I turned up. I turned up, put my list in, stood there. Rich C walked in and went, "Oh my god!" after Mark G had gone, "Oh, you're here."
Oh, that's charming.
No, he means it in a nice way because it just means to him that he's got another kind of, because he's looking for podiums for these things.
Okay.
He's got another barrier to hit.
Okay.
I had a great fun time though. Played my US. Lost the game because just bored and mission.
Yeah, I hate that combo.
Yeah. No, I had a great fun time. That was a good little laugh. And then I only let you guys know when I went, "Here's the pictures," and you're all going, "What?" And I'm there like,
that was weird. I did. Yeah, where was my invite? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, because you're really going to travel several hundred miles. Well, a couple. No, not even a couple. Just over 100 miles just before the WTC when all your brownie points are going to disappear.
That's my decision to make, Pete, and clearly I could have done with the practice, so whatever.
Hey, look, you put OnlyFlanks where it is for me, so I need you to keep some brownie points.
Speaking of OnlyFlanks, let's transition to the future. What's happening next? So I know
My
Spurlie.
net's about to die, so just remember that.
Okay, well, Dan's about to drop out for 2 minutes because his route is shit. While Dan's dropping out, Spurlie, talk to us about the tournament you're going to week today, innit?
Not today. Well, next week, next Sunday.
Yeah, so
Is that Operation
that's a week
Diner?
today, yeah. Yeah,
I didn't hear you say the week bit.
I thought you said today.
You just went, today. That's what it sounded like you said.
Sorry,
I'm not sure you'll get 3 games in before midnight, to be honest.
mate, I fucking could. I'd smash it.
The way this list ran over Toph, I might do.
Mate, so he's taking that fucking FT17 bollocks, and it's fucking awful.
Oh.
Do you know what? You know, after half of a game, Spurgeon was like, "Do you think I should tone it down, or should I ask if I should use it?" And I was like, "No, Spurdy, this is the first tournament you're going to in like ages where there's no other juggers there. This is your time to go and absolutely smash face and win a tournament on your own with a list you've created. Don't drop this like opportunity now. Like, don't waste it."
When I went down to
Yeah.
London on my own, I took the PPA, didn't I?
Yeah.
I mean, similarly, when that one I've recently done, I was cursing myself because it's like the one army I could have brought down and gone smash face is left in Leicester. Fuck.
Yeah. So into like kind of a semi-narrative event though, because aren't they doing custom missions, Birdie?
It's not narrative. It's just that because it's they were looking at what they can do, like all the different people in the club, say providing a table, and then basically it's. When I last spoke to our good friend Mr. Martin Fairweather, they hadn't decided yet whether they were going to do the round as just one scenario for everyone, or whether each table would actually have its own like custom scenario for the table. So I will find out.
I hope they've worked out what they're doing yet. Oh, tomorrow, okay.
Yeah.
But mission pack is due to be released tomorrow.
Oh, is that like post-submission then?
Yeah, so submission then.
That's Operation Diadem in Sleaford.
Yeah, that's the one.
Where the fuck's Sleaford? Is that just like Lincolnshire?
Lincoln knew it.
That
in
way.
between.
That way. That way. Listener, it's that way.
It's about
No, that way. The other way.
No, yeah, that way.
McDonald's is about 20 minutes away from the venue. So
20 minutes from McDonald's. That's all you need.
That's exactly what we're here for.
Yeah. We need to burn time up while Dan's internet resets.
Let
me carry on then.
Go on then.
Let me just carry on. So, Operation Diadem, we're looking at it's 1,000 points, 20 order dice maximum.
Order dice limit. Grow up.
20's fine. 20's fine.
Yeah, 20 is fine.
Yeah.
If I want to bring 30 order dice, let me bring them.
I could have I could have gone up to 20 if I'd have just turned my 2 big squads into 4 smaller squads.
So you know how you just brought 8 FT17s for a $5 each off me, Spurley? Do you want to buy another 8 FT17s for a $5 each off me?
No, I'm good.
Are you sure? Yeah, you had to think about it though, didn't you? There was that moment when you was like, do I want 16 FT17s?
I could have gone like minimal order dice on the 2 rifles.
That would be it. Can you just imagine turning up at the table and then just be like, here's my list. And then they're just like, here's a 16 FT17.
Yeah.
It's going to be like Corey at the end of the event. He's going to give FT17s out to everybody.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. It's when I printed the models off for him and he was like, ooh, and Spade was really happy with him, and I was like, turn them over, and I seen how intricately I hollowed them all out to save myself resin, and he was like, that's so beautiful, because he's paying the same amount, but I want to keep as much resin as I can. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a cost saving.
Yeah, I tell you what, Dan. In terms of shilling on this 3D printing, you've actually got stuff to learn from Toph. Yeah. He will teach you how to extract every last penny out of the juggernauts.
Cheap as
that's the thing, you see. You have to remember, when I bought my 3D printer, I charged everyone pretty much exactly what it cost to print it and clean it, because I didn't want to make any money. I just wanted it to pay for the printer and that was it. I don't care about making the money off
Oh,
it.
no. Toph's all about the embezzlement. So...
Yeah, I know.
It's
Look at that new desk the club's just bought him.
I don't think the club bought that.
Some people like to take advantage of their friends. Some people don't.
I'm just saying, right. As treasurer here, the club didn't buy it.
Yeah.
Spurlie, are you in any way unhappy with your purchase?
No, I'm not.
There we go.
There'll be an FAQ time.
And Dan, you're more than happy to take advantage of your friends when it climbs you up them on the table when it was at an event. So
You mean play better than you? That's not take advantage of you, mate. That's just you being shite.
You took advantage of me at that GT.
Hey, look. It is a tradition that me and Dan meet at an event at some point, round 2, maybe round 3 if there's many rounds, and we stand there and go, oh, here we go again. And I play a really good game until something fucks up and Dan goes, lol, there's a mistake.
There is no point in letting Spurlie win. Because even when he does win, he still doesn't win the event. So what's the point?
Oh, shut up, Toph. Shut up.
If you go undefeated at this event and still don't win it, mate, I'm going to piss myself.
Spurlie's going to come solid third place with 3 wins. Guaranteed.
And the funny thing is, Spurlie performed so well, and the reason he didn't win is because Dan trounced me on another table.
No, it was also my own fault because I killed 2 medics over the day. So
yeah, even though the TO had quite clearly said that don't kill medics, they'll tank your TO score, and Spurs like, well, I'm an idiot, I'm going to kill him anyway. Like, what was that about?
No, it was multi-launcher issues.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the event where I legitimately thought about, fuck it, I'll kill the medics and try and win anyway.
Yeah. Right. So let's cut it there. Future stuff. We've got Battle of Britain coming up at the end of the month. We've already dabbled a bit. Go and buy a ticket. We've already dabbled a bit. It's fine. There'll be bolt action, 1250 points, 50% rifle platoon limit. Cool. That's fine. Find us on Facebook. What about the future beyond that? So, we've got OnlyFlanks. Before I talk about OnlyFlanks, I want to talk about the podcast because that will lead us into then talking about OnlyFlanks. That makes sense?
That makes sense.
So, I'm about to drop a bomb now. I need a suitable. To
the soundboard.
I don't have a suitable soundboard. Oh my god! Whatever. Let's clap. There we go. That's
no, you got this one.
There we go. So I am.
Here you go. This is what
Oh, here we go. Go on then.
There's been a murder.
There's about to be a murder.
That's what you've done to.
There's about to be a murder. I'm murdering the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, this will be the last ever episode of the Juggernaut Bolt Action podcast that you ever listen to.
The king is dead. Long live the king.
Because we are rebranding! So you'll have already seen this on the Facebook page. We're just going to rebrand it to the Juggernaut Wargaming podcast. And I know. It's
perfect timing.
Yeah, only because, and let's be real, listener. V3 hasn't hit as hard as we wanted it to. Like V2, we was all up in its grill. We was deep inside. We freaking loved it. We knew the feel, the girth, the shape. It was amazing. V3, it's just not the same. And I've already said part of the reason why we delayed getting this podcast out for so long is because it was like, if you don't have anything nice to say or anything worth saying, don't say anything. But we like podcasting. We like coming on and chatting up shit on here once a month. And if we're not really in the mood to talk about bolt action, well, what do we talk about? And how many times do we laugh that we come on here and we talk about everything except bolt action sometimes? So why don't we just finally rip the band-aid off and just start talking about shit that isn't bolt action? And I know that's like the death of a podcast, right? Because we have a lot of listeners who will only play bolt action, and they'll be like, "Well, fuck off, I don't want to talk about bolt action," and that's fair enough. But I know, Spurlie, close your ears. I'm really sorry. This has never been about the number of listeners. Shh. Sorry, Spurlie. This is all.
Don't bother me.
Likes on Facebook, whatever criteria you're into. I don't know, you're the numbers man. But this has always just been something we just. This has always just been something we just do for the fuck of it. Do you know what I mean? It's just the 4 of us fucking about on a Sunday evening, chatting shit. So, sure, we'll probably piss off a few people, and I'm really sorry. But this way we get to keep going it, because the alternative was just like either release an episode every 7-8 months or just close the podcast entirely. So
we've got some good news for those that want bolt action content. There will probably still be bolt action content.
Oh fuck yeah! Of course there will. Of course there will be.
And if you just want the bolt action stuff, then I suppose we could give you the timestamps. But if we could,
to be fair,
there's other podcasts if you're that dedicated.
I mean, I'm speaking to listeners recently, except the ones who go, huh? Like, there's over the weekend, like most people aren't really even bothered about our bolt action. It's just bolt action opinions. They're like funny as fuck. That's why they say listen to us. There was one guy in a the guy who lives in Kentucky, the guy who's English but lives in America. He was saying his local scene, they're proper all historical. Like, they'll look at you for the wrong rivet on tank kind of level of historical, and they don't listen to any podcast because they all piss them all off by getting like history wrong and everything. Except apparently they listen to ours because we're funny as fuck. So we might not talk about bolt action, but we can still endeavour to make dick jokes, right? Like that's fine.
Can those guys talk to my wife then and really point out that I am funny? You know
she won't believe you, right?
Well, that's why I need other people to tell her. The more people that tell her,
yeah, but she'll think you've paid them.
Spurlie, remember, I'm the funny one, so.
Not according to your wife, Toph.
Oh no, not according to mine. No. I get all my compliments from Spurlie's wife, not mine.
That's what she's got done for me.
You need to stop buttering cat up, clearly.
Yeah.
So, in which case, I would like to introduce this new Juggernaut Wargaming podcast by talking about Old World, if that's okay. Because
remember the Old World?
Are we going to get a new
shop?
The
Do we need a new intro tune as well? Is this the Death of Hellmarch 2?
We'll keep Hellmarch. Hellmarch is wicked. It's the brand at this point. Come on, businessman. Yeah. But we've been talking about Old World for fucking yonks anyway. And I think shall we do like a proper why you should play Old World episode at some point, like having a whole episode about how it's fucking awesome. Because ranking.
Yeah, I think the next one should just be an introduction to Old World, why we love it, and how we got started in it.
Yeah, that'd be wicked. Let's do that.
Well, yeah,
we did that at the start of Bolt Action, didn't we?
Yeah.
We did we've played games for X amount of years. We got into Bolt Action. This is what we play. Let's talk about it.
Don't worry, listener. I'll sneak some Bolt Action in somewhere.
God's belly.
I still fucking love the game.
As much as I bought a ticket for OnlyFlanks, you still need to sell it to me. So.
So OnlyFlanks, we are running. So we are running an Old World GT, and the first weekend in August. Why is it the first weekend in August? Because that's Pete's fucking birthday weekend. Why do we put it on Pete's birthday weekend? Because then he can't fucking say no. I'm thinking ahead, boys. The man's a flake, and I'm desperate for Pete to turn up to shit.
I'm not a flake. I don't promise to turn up. That's the thing.
You do know that's the excuse Luke uses, right?
Yeah, but he's right, you know. The definition of a flake is to promise to turn up and then not turn up.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do we think, Dan?
What do you think, Spurlie? WTC.
That's true.
I think all much of a muchness to me, mate. You're not there, you're flaking.
So we're running. So first weekend in August at 7 City, we are running a 2,000 point Old World event. Tune in next episode as to why you should play the Old World. But actually, so far we've sold like 8 tickets.
8, yeah.
It's enough to make sure it runs, but it's still quite an.
I need to buy mine yet.
Yeah, but
so.
you're.
I need to throw the money for mine too.
Yeah, I know.
I'm already on the list.
Yeah, you're all on the list anyway. But like, it's looking to be quite an intimate affair, which is quite exciting.
We've got one outsider. There's one outsider.
Yeah, we might get a few more. I said half the England WTC team promised to me that they would come. Charlie, come. There we go. So it's too far.
If you want to beat me at a game, it's far, far, far easier to beat me at Old World.
That's the thing. None of us are very good at Old World. Like we come on.
So I can genuinely say now, I'm Dan and I'm shit at Old World.
Yeah,
I'm shit at Old World.
So my last Old World event I went to, I took my high elves and I took like a relatively nice list, even a fucking dragon mage. That's how like nice it was. And I played this fucking proper whacker dude with like he had like Tomb Kings. He had two of the big tomb necrosphinx thingies. He had a
2 necrosphinxes, 2 dragons.
2 dragons, 60-man poison block, and he absolutely beat the shit out of me. And I got really salty, and in the end, I was just like, "Good job, guy. You've won Warhammer," and then stormed off because I'm a giant child.
Welcome to what you do to people of V2 Bolt Action tournaments.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because I'm not very good at Old World. But yeah, check out OnlyFlanks, which is also the best name of any tournament ever.
I'm wondering when you're going to start selling feet pics, mate.
Well, let's just say for the event pack and the branding and the event on site, I've not leaned into the OnlyFlanks joke yet because I don't want to get in trouble. But you can better believe when you see those certificates, you'll win. Mwah. They will make your wife question where you was this weekend.
Will there be boobies on said certificate?
What was that? Sorry.
Yeah.
Will there be boobies on said certificate?
Ooh. Yes, but for legal reasons, the nipples might have to be the ones on dice pips or something. Do you know what I mean?
Also, they might be hairy.
I mean, probably, yeah. But actually, currently there's only going to be 8 or so of us. I reckon by trajectory, obviously, tickets will sell close to the date. We might get 16 players. But at that point, I can play, even though I'm the TO and I'll be able to play myself because it's freaking nothing. It'll manage itself. It's nice small event. But I guess you'd have to listen back in the future to see how that goes. But OnlyFlanks, man. Ooh. There we go.
Yeah. Should probably buy the rulebook for that one, should I?
Mate, the rulebook's free. Just go and read it online. I mean, it's not officially free, but it's basically free.
Just ask any question on the Old World page, and they'll give you all the rules
Have you not got the rulebook yet?
No.
You just go. How far does an elf move, and they'll tell you exactly how far everything in the game moves. Then on the next, they ask how does a bow fire, and then they'll get all the shooting rules. It's dead easy, mate.
Yeah. Plus, all you do is run forward anyway. That's 2 pages of rules.
That's all I do with anything. That's how I play all the games.
Oh, and how to fall back because you tend to then lose. But that's fine. It's 3 pages of rules.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only complicated bit of Old World is the morale falling back from combat.
That's why Pete
when
plays
it's a break and when it's not.
That's why Pete plays immune to psychology army, so he just never falls back ever.
Yeah, fall back too.
Game system. What faction ignores morale? I'll play that one. Yeah. That's how I did Japanese.
Yeah, standard.
Why don't I choose Japanese? I can ignore this. Yeah, okay. Well, what ignores it in 40k? Well, Space Marines for the most part. And then what else ignores it? Necrons. Okay. What else? Undead Eldar. Yeah, okay. Fantasy and Old World Tomb Kings. Let's ignore that too.
Yeah. So
it's not even funny when we're playing War Machine. The one faction that ignores it, me.
Fucking War Machine, man. That was really annoying. I tried to sell my War Machine the other day to 7th City, and it was worth so little they wouldn't take it.
Yep.
For anything.
V4's about to come out.
Is it?
You missed the boat, mate.
I know. Maybe I just needed to be.
Missed the boat on selling. I sold mine a couple before COVID and got enough for it.
You know what? I want War Machine to be the game that is promised on the box art, which is giant stompy robots beating 10 bells of shit out of each other. Because every time apart from the Retribution Sky that'll ignore most of your rules, and cricks that go, I don't want a stompy robot, I'm just going to kill that. Yeah, but that's the thing. The game is sold on the stompy robots, and then you go to play, it's actually the stompy robots are a bit shit. You only really want one, and even that's because you have to. What you want is blocks of 10 infantry that teleport and just kill the other guy's warcaster. It's well, that's not the game I want to play. I want to play stompy robots. Yeah. So maybe the next edition will fix it, and then I won't want to sell all of my shit. I'll just play. But whatever.
If it's an Osprey publication, I'll try and get the rules for us.
It's not. It's absolutely not. No. So, any other topics you guys would like to cover before we go on to the Hooby-Looby?
I would just like to reinforce to those that want the bolt action stuff, it still will be around. I will probably find some time to go through an Armies of Germany review, an Armies of the United States review, but it probably won't be like a huge 4-man podcast for it.
Yeah, we got to see how Spurlie gets on next week.
Pushing the move. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so don't worry about that. If anything, you'll just see more episodes.
Yeah, there'll be more of it.
There'll just be more. Yeah. because
there won't be so much gap between.
Yeah, that's the hope, because we were even just talking about it today before we went live. Dan's already got an idea for doing a hobby episode about like, you know, painting tricks and shit. Don't listen to me, because all I can do is tell you how to paint like quickly. But Dan actually has a bit of talent.
Basing, so. you want basing, you want Toph.
I know.
I've got talent for the first 2 units. Then nope, I can't be bothered with this army anymore. I'm already thinking about my next one. Like my Bretonians at the minute, I'm not really touching them because I want to print my Skaven, but I can't print my Skaven until I finish my Bretonians. It's a very vicious circle.
So you just do nothing.
Mate,
just sit there doing nothing.
That's what you need.
Yeah. Skaven need contrasting. That's it. We ain't got time.
I need a hobby night. That's what I need. Yeah. We'll just go and sit down and do it.
Sorry, damn it.
Truth.
For the listener, I used to host hobby nights because I was a single man that just had no responsibilities, and it was great because I had no kids around, so they could be as loud as they wanted.
You see, Pete, you got your dick wet, and now we're all suffering for it. The fuck is wrong with you?
And you know what? Deal with it.
No, I don't want to deal with your dick being wet. It needs to be dry. It needs to be dry like the Sahara.
He likes that friction, you see.
If it doesn't burn after 3 minutes, you're not doing it right.
Why is it chafing?
Don't forget to lube. Come to more Health and Spurlie at the Juggernaut Wargaming podcast. Right.
Wait until the Juggernaut Wargaming Centre's set up, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, now that I've won the lottery, what?
Apparently. That was Grimes' house.
Yeah, so I'm like, I think the Juggers are. So listen, this is a proper tangent. Like,
one look at that garden and went, Toph can't be after that. That's Grimes'.
So recently, I brought a new car. It's not an exciting thing. It's an SUV, fit the car, the family in it, whatever. And I got a pretty good deal. It's a nice new car. But I also went to IKEA yesterday and brought a standing table. Which, you know, la-di-da, fancy. And I also brought some chest of drawers and a table to go with it. So I managed to spend 750 quid in IKEA yesterday. So I think the guys are kind of thinking that I'm now onto some money and just hiding it from people. But I want to let you know, dear listener, that I am still and always will be poor as fuck. That's the Juggernaut pledge that I give to you. So please don't come and rob my house, because you will find nothing in there. There's nothing in there at all.
His garden with the new stones and plants is fair game.
Yeah. Come and piss in my front garden. That's fine, but don't rob my house.
I mean, don't forget our tagline: "Scum, class, and proud."
Yeah, man. Look, the reason I have to be poor is that's my strong socialist left-wing heritage. The moment I become rich, I become a hypocrite. I never have to be a Tory. I would never live that down, so I have to keep being poor.
Toph's finances are very much like this podcast. Tin pot.
Yeah, boy.
You know what I was saying earlier about like a strong, like there's a line between like banter and just being a cunt. Like, Dan, that's really mean.
Yeah, he don't mind. He's happy in it.
Right, fuck it. Let's do Hobby Lobby. What we've been working on in like the past five months.
I have the list.
Be prepared to be severely underwhelmed.
Oh, sounds like my sex life.
On your list, Dan, was the riders for your Bretonian Knights.
You know what?
Did I say put paint on or complete?
Put paint on.
Then I have completed my pledge.
To be fair, your Bretonians are looking really good, Dan, aren't they? Like most of the Cavalry is done, and they're the correct base colour, may I add, which is Goblin Green.
Yeah, Goblin Green. Yeah,
the best.
Although it's not GW brand, so it's Soldier Green.
Oh, I see. So mine is Goblin Green, but it's Vallejo Goblin Green, not Games Workshop Goblin Green, because I'm a purist, and Games Workshop no longer make the correct Goblin Green. Vallejo has to step up. So
wow,
I know.
One of our previous sponsors, Exit 23 Games, they do all of the old GW colours with the correct names, so you can buy like all the old Goblin Green, Tentacle Pink, and all that sort of stuff.
Do they do the inks too?
I don't know.
Do they do Midnight Blue? Because that shit's been gone since the early noughties. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know the full range, but they definitely do all the old GW names and the colours.
I remember when the foundation paint
Spurlie's on it. Yeah, leave it with
it's
him.
It's when the foundation paint came out and they got rid of Midnight Blue and they replaced it with Necron Abyss.
Yeah.
And that shit was a lie. That was not the same colour.
Yeah.
And I'm clearly still bitter about it 20 years later. So
got some bad news for you, Dan. You're probably seeing the same I'm seeing is you go to their website and they're in with two thin coats.
Oh no, they sold out to Duncan. Anyway, I do have more paint riders. I have yellow and silver and washed on it. I just need to do the blue and the black lances, and then the riders.
What you're saying is you had 5 months, and you've still done the bare fucking minimum.
Yeah,
correct.
And because you did a shite pledge with absolutely no ambition, we can't even call you over it.
Correct. It's the best kind of correct. Technically correct.
This is when Dan's theme is winning.
I am as angry as I am ambivalent. Screw you.
I paid nothing for this event and I'm still
disappointed
asking for a refund.
Where are we? Spurlie.
Completion so far, Spurlie,
you had to build or finish building the scrap launcher and paint 20 US infantry.
He's done neither of those things, hasn't he?
He's pretending his screen is frozen now. I feel he's not even moving.
I think he's only just remembered that he's got those things.
Well, he has built and painted 8 FT-17s, so you know. I know he's not even built or painted them, has he?
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Spurlie, what have you done in the past 5 months?
Yeah. About that. Oh, I sold a house.
The WTC.
Yeah, you sold a house. Not bought a house. He's about to be homeless, but you know.
Yeah, he could have bought the house next to Toph.
Yeah.
See, this is what you do. What I did, Spurlie. Say you packed all your paints and you can't get access to them until you move house. You have to abstain.
Yeah, no, I have packed everything up.
Yeah, genius.
Oh no, the issue with that, Spurlie, is I've seen the inside of your house.
Yeah, shut up, Pete.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. Yes, Toph's been round as well.
I've seen a lot of Spurlie's house.
Yeah.
How's the bedroom ceiling?
Yeah. Yeah, just make sure you don't take a UV light and when you next go in, mate. It's like fucking Jackson Pollock in there. Fucking horrendous.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'll take my punishment as taking this horrible list next weekend and not making friends with new people.
You know karma's going to come back and you're going to come third place, so we're going to fucking ream you for it.
No. Your punishment is buying an OnlyFlanks ticket.
Yes.
I've already bought one. I'm number 2 on the list.
Yes.
You've already got my money. I'm not like these two losers that have just said they'll have a ticket.
Yes.
I've paid.
Yes.
Hey, I'm balancing finances.
What? Look. What's better than friends? Friends who owe you 50 quid. Like, come on. What more do you want? So actually, Spurlie, I prefer Pete and Dan to you now than you currently. Because they owe me money.
Because you've already got my 50 quid.
Exactly. And all I've got to do is dangle another 8 overpriced FT-17s in front of you, and I might get another 50 quid. Do you know what I mean?
It depends on how it goes this weekend, doesn't it?
All I'm saying, you put me and Dan in the same category, you just get winning. That's just what happens.
I don't have...
I'll tell you what, Toph. What I'll probably be able to do is if it goes well this weekend, I'll be able to get you maybe 2 or 3 orders for 8 FT-17s off other people that want to net.
You know what? I don't have friends.
No, it'll only be 1 order because Spurlie will be selling his first.
I don't have or need friends. All I have is transactions.
Yeah.
Let's soundbite that.
He's had 2 transactions with his wife, and that's where his 2 kids came from.
Excuse me.
He's probably got the receipt somewhere.
Excuse me. I think you'll find Dr. Patel was involved with that. I was very minimally involved. There was like it was a third party. It was like, you know.
I thought your kids had a bit of a tan.
I outsourced that shit.
That's where the accent comes from.
Buyer and middleman.
It was by a holding company based in the Cayman Islands, mate. It was nothing to do with me.
Wow.
It wasn't Epstein's Island, was it?
Talking about islands,
They held Summit.
islands have beaches, and Toph had to paint stuff for Beachhead, which is around 3 Vickers and a kangaroo.
I mean, I can definitely confirm that they have all been painted.
Yeah,
I have also painted a 2,000 point high elf army in that time.
Yeah,
which looks sick
Just
as
one?
fuck. Just one.
Amateur.
Just one, which looks awesome, man, because it's got the correct colour basing in it, which is goblin
You
green.
can certainly tell who enjoys painting more than some of the others of us in this room.
Well, yeah, but you know what I'm like.
It's time.
I go down. I'm very like almost like ADHD, like macro super focus on one thing at a time. Like I haven't.
Yeah, I
like,
can't.
I've painted like 2 bolt action models like in like the past 4 months or something stupid. But like because I'm in the old world zone, I'm just like churning them out.
No, I'm the opposite brand of ADHD, where like I have got 4,000 models, all with slight different levels of paint on them.
I remember when we had the painting night around yours, and like Spurlie would pull out. He'd pull out like 10 beastmen, and you'd sit there for 20 minutes analysing them all, getting all of his paints ready and everything. He'd go, right, I'm going to blitz these. And then he would paint like 4 axes, and I'm done now. He would put them all to the side, pull some space greens out, and do the exact same thing. I don't understand what he was doing with his life.
I paint for necessity, so if I've not got an event coming up that's very specifically
that same night, the exact opposite thing with me, because I was batch painting high elf spearmen, so I just pulled out 28 high elf spearmen and like a blue pot.
That's all you did.
I was like, right, bam,
did,
blue. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
See, what I do is I'm very target driven. So I'll have a target, and I'll say, right, Dan, you've got to do 1 colour a day, every day this week. And if I miss Monday for some reason, say something urgent comes up and I need to do it, or something unexpected happens and I don't get that time set aside to do it, I'll just not do the rest of the week because I haven't done the first target, so I can't hit the other 4. So what's the point?
Exactly.
And I'm already behind. So I think, that week's a write-off. I'll start the Monday after, and then it'll do it again. So that's why I've done 2 colours in about 4 months.
I will have a brand new Warriors of Chaos army for only flank. I can tell you that now.
Is that because you brought second-hand shit that's already painted?
Yeah,
no, because I've stripped it all, haven't I?
No, that's true, actually. Yeah,
I've
that's exciting.
It all.
Do you guys know why he picked Warriors of Chaos?
Less models.
No, it's better than that. It's because I advertised it to him as the easiest army to play in Old World.
Yeah.
Because you have 10 blokes and you walk forward. What more do you want to do?
If I pick half of it with all your Dragon Ogres and stuff from your Beastmen.
Exactly.
But also, if I pick the right mark of Chaos, I don't even choose to move forward. I just move forward.
Just does it.
Does it for me?
Yeah. So my Warriors of Chaos army is like a full like night list, and they've all got Mark of Khorne. It plays itself, mate. I don't even have to be there. I could be remote. I could go on holiday, and Spurlie be like, Spurlie, you want a game on Tuesday? He's like, you're on your holiday? Yeah, just put my Warriors of Chaos out, mate. Don't worry. Like, they'll sort themselves out. They'll just do what they got to do. It's freaking wicked.
Yeah.
What was your pledge, Pete?
It was build the Blood Crushers.
Is it to paint the Leash Priest that you're currently painting on stream?
No, that's a tomb. That's a base for Tomb Prince that's been painted for ages. He just got rebased, so it needs to be painted. So it was to build the Blood Crushers that I've received for Secret Santa, and to paint 1 Bloodthirster / Axeman. Not only did I build the Blood Crushers, I painted them and finished them, and the Bloodthirster's all done.
You're wicked.
And my Tomb Kings have gone from a complete disarray of they've never been painted, they've just been put together, to they're all put together, they're all based, and most of them are sprayed, ready for paint. So, what's happened to me?
That Tomb King project is literally a 20-year project in the making, Pete, and I'm so ready to throw you a house party when they're finished. Like, we need a barbecue, we need streamers, like, it'll be a monumentous event when they're finished, because I've played against those Tomb Kings for 20 years, like, and I'm not even exaggerating or joking, I've literally played them for 20 years, yeah.
As long as we turn up, we are streamers, you know?
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
We're good in.
Yeah.
We could live stream the event.
Look, I've said I want to start streaming some more games because we've got all the equipment now.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Once the Wargaming Centre's set up, there you go.
I want to stream
Once
again.
you can make my day job wargaming.
Look, at some point as well, now that we've let the cat out of the bag and we're switching to Juggernaut Wargame, we're going to start talking about Old World. Let's stream an Old World game, because I've painted all my Old World terrain. It doesn't even be, whatever, it just looks cool because I painted all my fancy terrain and stuff. Let's do it.
And let's put the complete contrast around and have some unpainted army against you.
Why do that to me?
See, if you set a date, I'll probably get my Bretonians painted for it.
And we both have goblin green bases down, so it would look fucking fabulous.
Yeah.
And break out the Beast of Chaos, yeah.
And Spurlie can turn up, not know any of the rules, which gives us content and things to talk about. See? The plan it's in motion.
It's a thing.
I'm not sure many podcasts have their planning streamed at the end of the episode, but
well,
we'll carry on.
What's Tin Pot, sir?
Tin
Pot podcast.
Yeah.
What would
we promise to deliver that level of quality?
Sorry, Toph, it's a football team, meaning that you're just acting like a bit of a small fish.
No, I get it. I got it from the context. Don't you worry. What are we pledging for next month?
We'll start with Dan, who's probably going to pledge the same bloody thing on a technical.
No, I'm gonna finish these riders and try and get the characters all done for the army as well.
Finish.
So that then I'll have a full 2,000 points that's all finished. I just need to do the Pegasus Knights, but I don't want to take them because I'm not a cheesy whacker that relies on Pegasus Knights.
Wow. Shots fired.
So you like losing.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounds like someone who just, has accepted losing.
I think that we need, now that we're branching more into the Old World and we have just renamed it once, I think we need to rename the podcast again to like Mid-Table Obscurity Podcast, because that's literally all we're going to be.
Why are you listening to us?
Why are we
competitive Mid-Table podcast?
Yeah.
If I go out and buy another dragon, then I might get top table. I'll lose every friend I'll have, but
Nah, I think the 100-man Archer Poison Block will do it, Pete. Don't worry about the second dragon.
100 man. 100 man's too much.
Spurlie, he's gonna paint 8 FT17s.
Yes. Yes. I will take that. Yes.
Spurlie, have you already painted them?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well,
he spray painted them grey, which is 90% of the way there, to be honest. But
yeah, most of
I'm actually going to put it into what it is as well. It's 6 FT17s and 2 FT18s.
Yeah.
Nerd.
And what I'll tell you what, I'll go one step further. Yeah, by the next episode, I will live stream and the podcast. There you go.
Wow.
I will. We will host our podcast by the next podcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lofty goals.
That's it.
So Toph, now you've done High Elves, what other army are you just going to spat out?
No, I'm still working on my High Elves. So things I can do is I can finish off painting my dragon, my second dragon. I've got more archers to paint, more sword masters to paint, or a unit of Silverhelms to paint. Which one would you like me to do?
I mean,
Silverhelms.
Silverhelms are cool.
Silverhelms are cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think you need to buy some Phoenix Guard as well.
Oh, no, because the elite.
Or are they shit?
No, they're good. But
He's already got sword masters.
I've already got 30 sword masters, and elite infantry is so expensive. I can't fit both in.
Phoenix
they kind of do.
shit,
They kind of. No, they're fine. They just kind of do the same thing as sword masters. And sword masters
compared
are cool.
to sword masters, they're shit.
To be fair, I don't have points for either because I need to take 2 dragons like a twat. You know what I mean? That's where all my points are going. So yeah, exactly. I need the dragon crutch. Yeah. So okay, I heard Silverhelms.
Yeah, Silverhelms.
I heard Silverhelms. I'll do Silverhelms. That's cool. Unit of Silverhelms. And actually, I've actually got 5 half-finished sword masters, so chuck those on the list as well because there's no point leaving them half done. There we go.
Pete, are you going?
Yeah, man. Are you ready for this? I'm going to do 40 skeleton archers.
40?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
you
actually
have
good.
No.
What are you going to do with the other 58 minutes of that hour?
I'm going to say you have no idea how quick.
I was going to say
that test while I've done it.
Hopefully,
actually.
hopefully you've come up with a fucking quick skew. To be fair, I remember from painting.
It's contrast paint.
Yeah.
Contrast paint. A dry brush. Contrast paint.
I remember when I did my Bone Reapers, literally you sprayed all of them like grey. You contrasted all of them Skeleton Horde. You dry brushed the entire, so you'd Skeleton Horde the entire model. You'd dry brush the entire model. And then the last step was just picking out bits with other contrast paint, like the red shield, and it was done. It took me, it was like, you'd paint an entire unit in like an hour and a half. So actually, if your scheme's anything like that, you should be alright.
Yeah, so 40 skeleton archers. I've already done the leech breeds for them. I'm not even taking the 2 brids that I've just finished to only flanks. I just did it because it's in front of me.
What you need to do is you need to get the speed down so that you can finish a unit in the same time that you watch the cinematic masterpiece that is the Mummy starring Brendan Fraser. So if you can finish a unit for every rerun watch of the Mummy, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
because that film is glorious.
It is glorious, and more people should watch it.
Hey, Benny, looks like you're on the other side of the river.
No. It starts with, "Hey, Rick, looks like we got all the horses. Hey, Benny, looks like you're on the wrong side of the river."
That's a brilliant film. Fucking brilliant.
So yeah, we'll do 40 skeleton archers, 3 tomb swarms.
I've got one very important question for you there, Pete. What sort of the base is going to be?
So I'm going in a desert.
Really? You're doing Tomb Kings on a desert base? That's not Goblin Green.
Sure.
So predictable, Pete.
That's got a SpongeBob meme written all over it.
I bet you're going to put a fucking skull on the base too as well, aren't you? Yeah.
No, skulls on bases wouldn't be much of a thing.
I bet you do dry grass tufts as well, don't you?
Cheating.
I'm actually
painting already. He started already.
This is a tomb print, nothing to do with my thing. So
wow. Shit.
Yeah. And I'm going for brown rims.
Oh, I bet you are.
I mean, we still can we keep talking about the painting before you start going on about your home life, Pete? It's a bit grim, but that's fine. Brown,
both home life and painting. Brown rims everywhere.
Is it brown rim sound on top?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just.
Okay. Yeah. Listener, he's holding up a very blurry man on the camera, and I'm like, that's a man. That's fine.
I'll get a picture for it.
Yeah, chuck it in the Discord. By the way,
the only thing I don't own at the moment is the tufts, but I'm solving that.
That's acceptable. That is fine.
I've got a tuft rock, if that counts.
Yeah, tufts are tactical tufts. Rocks are tactical tufts. That's fine.
Yeah. The other thing I'm looking for actually is tiny cacti.
Tiny cacti.
Oh, you want to try Game of Grass?
Do they do? Oh yeah, they do, don't they? They do the little spiky tufts. Yeah, Game of Grass.
Yeah, little spiky cactus. Yeah. You know, because I think that'll be pretty cool.
Well, they've got the little like the aloe vera planty things as well.
Aloe vera.
Wow, there we go.
But
that's exciting.
Laser plants. That's what they call them.
What else do I need to do? 40 skeleton archers. That's a lot of archers, let's be honest.
Pete, 40 skeleton archers and 3 swarms is more than enough of a pledge. Mr. Big Bollocks.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering, I could probably get the skeleton scavengers in the list as well. So
just impress us all when you do it.
just turn up and be like, so I've accidentally done a Toph.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Cool.
Yeah.
I have a narrative old world event to go to 2 weeks today. That's called up in Sheffield. They've got some narrative missions. One of them is I need to get a thief model from one side of the board to the other.
That's cool.
So
Can you kill it?
Yeah, you can. He's got a stat line. It's like toughness 3 and one wound.
So you get your dragon, you find the opponent's thief model, and go, "You're dead. I win."
Yeah. My plan is to hide him in a unit of ethereal swordmasters,
and then also fly them, right?
Yeah, or just drilled march straight through the bad guy. That'll also
you can fly. Give him,
we'll
give him
see.
the march.
We'll see.
30-inch move, off you go.
You'll have to hear all about that and how Spurlie's FT17s get on in the next episode of the Juggernaut Wargaming podcast. How is that for Profesh?
It's
it was quite good until you said Profesh.
There we go. I was like struggling to find my air horn button. I'm sorry.
Wow.
There we go. This is so shit.
Oh dear.
Come on, Dan. Have you got a joke for it? Oh, Pete, have you got anything nice before Dan sends us away?
No, I was just gonna put up the Juggernaut Wargaming sounds good. The merch is still good. The merch is still bow action based for the most part. The merch is still available. Get the merch.
Come and chat shit with us on Discord. That's always fun as well. Yeah. Any other calls to action, Spurlie?
Subscribe and like. We'll do it the opposite way around. Yeah.
Buy your OnlyFans
Such
ticket.
a rebel.
Buy your Operation Mincemeat ticket. Ask us when not.
No, it's not Mincemeat. Battle of Britain.
Back is
Battle of Britain. Only thanks. Any future events that come after that. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Not 7 steps back. Mincemeat the third.
Yeah. Yep. Come on, Dan.
Yeah, very much.
Jokers.
In terms of our event, we're only going to add to them probably rather than take away.
Yeah, because Toph needs more transactions in his life.
Yeah.
I've got a generic PC one for you for sending the podcast off with a bit of decorum. Okay,
go for it.
Hold on, decorum.
A guy goes into a local deli and he walks up to the counter and he sees the fit blonde behind the counter. And he says, really shy, he walks up to excuse me, love, are you the girl that gives out hand jobs for £5? And she's like, yeah, I am, yeah. He says, well, can you wash your fucking hands because I want a sandwich, please?
I thought you said that's the clean PC one.
That is clean and PC compared to the ones I usually do.
Yeah, compared to what we usually get out of him, that was fine.
It didn't make the podcast immediately end on the punchline. Everyone going, "Oh god,
that's PC." That's true. How do we end it now?
For the final time, everyone. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Send your questions to us.